Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Dynasty Land football stream. I'm going to keep it a buck with you right now. The World Cup is on in the background. All right, we are watching Paraguay, all right, versus Germany in the they have penalty kicks type of situation here. Germany just missed their first shot, but we are super excited to have a Dynasty startup draft with you guys, a real league. Sammy and I will be drafting for someone, which is awesome. Appreciate y'all being here with us. Let us know who we are hanging out with, and if you are also watching the World Cup simultaneously. What's up, Henry? Welcome in, welcome in. What's up, Pablo? What's up, Davo? 11 more Sundays is actually kind of crazy. What's up, Mike, in the building? Scribbles is here.
Tingle.
Yeah, 11 Sundays. That feels like it's gonna go by. I mean, in an absolute snap of your finger, isn't it? But we're excited to be here as Paraguay is about to step up and take their first kick here. Let me see. Oh my God! What a strike! He beat the keeper. Okay. We're all rooting for Paraguay, right? I mean, we're all on the same side here, where it's like the underdogs.
Probably.
But appreciate y'all being here. What's up, Sean? What's up, Gotsy? What's up, Patrick? What's up, Styles in the building? We have a real Dynasty startup draft for you guys today. I believe Sammy can confirm the exact settings, but I believe it is start 10 0.75 tight end premium.
You are correct, sir.
Okay.
It is a start 10. It is a 0.75 TP.
0.75 tight end premium, super flex, PPR. So we are hyped to be here. We'll be drafting for Team 11 here, which will be a lot of fun. But before we jump into the draft, which will be in about 9 minutes from now, we figured it might be a good time to jump into some trade questions first. So if you would like to submit a trade question through the Flock Fantasy website, you can do that. Of course, we'll be looking at them throughout today's stream, both beforehand and after. So if you'd like to ask a fantasy question, you can check out the link tree. I'll put that in the comment section there. But let's start off with some trade questions. Then we will get into the startup draft here fairly soon. This is a trade question from Leo Surzop. I'm definitely saying that wrong. But it's a 10-team Superflex start 11. He says, what's your thoughts on this? Getting my own 27 first back in the trade. He would send away Mahomes for Knicks in a first. I am obsessed with this deal. I love Patrick Mahomes, but I've also been a big Bo Nix guy for quite some time now. And I can't imagine he's worth more than this. To get a first on top of Mahomes, that seems almost like, I mean, not almost, it is an overpay. If you look at Mahomes' ADP versus Bo Nix in these real drafts we've done this offseason, Nix is always picked after Mahomes, but it's, we're talking about the 27th ranked player versus like the 41st to 36th ranked player, kind of in that range. I mean, typically they're within like in a round of each other. So to get a first round pick to make that move seems like a no-brainer.
I completely agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and getting your own first back too. I wonder if this is like a bad team where like that would normally be hard. I mean, yeah, I love having the flexibility of having my own first. It seems like your team's, in a decent spot in terms of yeah,
it's a pretty good team
potential.
Yeah,
but either way, having that flexibility of being able to maneuver that first midseason however you like, this 100%. Is a complete no-brainer.
That gives you a ton of flexibility, so I like that a lot. Okay, we've got Nate here. What's up, Nate? This is a 10-team, one quarterback start 9. And he says he would be sending away Judkins, Pitts in a second to get back Walker, Andrews, and the 110. It's a one quarterback league, so that 110 is actually that Coleman, Boston, and Stowers range. There's no tight end premium here. He says, or Judge in a second for Walker. Which would you...
Wait, you said it's the 110, right?
Yeah, but it's a one quarterback league, so it's not really that valuable.
Oh, because the tier break would be at 9 then. Right?
Yeah.
No, it'd be at 8. It'd be at 8 because Ty Simpson as well. Okay.
Ty Simpson and Mendoza kind of contribute there.
Oh,
so let's say it's Denzel Boston. I think I would prefer here to do the second option he mentioned where he would send Judkins in a second for Walker straight up.
Yeah, Yeah, I would much rather do that than the Kyle Pitts for Andrews in the pick thing.
Yeah. So we're pretty happy with this type of counter, hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So that is a counter that we would prefer. I mean, if he doesn't have that counter on the table, Paraguay, let's freaking go, baby. Let's go, Paraguay.
Dude, this is insane. I think if they score this next one, they win. Yeah, if they score this, it's over.
Okay, but look,
Dude,
if this is the only offer on the table, are you taking it, or are you just going to keep Judkins, Pitts in a second?
Well, let's put a name to this. Let's say that's
Boston.
Eli Stowers.
Okay, yeah, either way.
Yeah, God, it's hard. Like, I'm not completely against it because you are getting the best player in the trade.
Yeah.
You and I just talked we talked yesterday a little bit how I'm a little higher on Kyle Pitts for this season and therefore for Dynasty. But you know what? I think I would take the Kenneth Walker side because Eli Stowers and Mark Andrews, the combo of youth and like 2026 production, I think I like that enough to be happy getting the best player in the deal. He missed it. Yeah, he missed
Paraguay,
it.
no.
I'm like a minute ahead of Zach for anybody who doesn't realize.
That's heartbreak. He got too excited. Yeah. So anyway, I hope that's helpful, Nate. But we do prefer the counter that you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, guys, we got a real startup happening here really soon in about 4 minutes. We just want to get through some trade questions for now. And for now, 1 quarterback, 12 teams, start 8. He would be sending away Montgomery, a first, a second, to get back Jaylen Warren and George Pickens. So the way I view this personally is you're paying, let's say, a first and a second for Pickens because Warren and Montgomery, while I prefer Montgomery, they're pretty close in value.
It's pretty close. Yeah.
This feels like a pretty easy smash for the Pickens side, don't you think?
If that first is truly late, especially this is a 12-team start 8, yeah. Easily.
Yeah.
Well, also, Zach, that does mean that the pick... No, I'm tripping. Pickens side.
So if he made this trade, he would start Josh Allen, McCaffrey. Warren would actually be his RB2, though. He's got Charbonnet on the bench and Aaron Jones, but he would start Chase, Pickens. That's 5. His tight end's Laporta. He would need 2 more starters in this format, which would be, I assume, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore. So this is very much an all-in move. I will say, like, that first that you're sending away, if it's yours, I could easily see a path where you regret that if there's a Josh Allen CMC injury, for example. But overall, I don't mind the total value as Paraguay steps up for the kick. Oh, you're fucking kidding me, man. You're fucking kidding me. You are joking.
Dude, that is insane. 2 chances to win it.
Excuse the language.
And they miss. 2 chances
Paraguay,
to
this
win
is
it.
heartbreak.
The entire country is going to be crying about this for generations.
This is a generational flop if they don't figure this out. Okay, so, yeah, but are you willing to take that risk, Sammy? I guess is the question.
Here's how I would view it. Like, what are the odds that pick is more valuable than George Pickens in a year?
Yeah, low.
Do you think? Like, it's probably pretty low.
It's probably 30
like
versus
the flexibility.
70%. Yeah.
I like the flexibility, but mid-season, if it's going well, you're not going to be. I don't think you're going to be able to get Pickens for just a first and a second. So it's tough. You just watch him sky it. So now I'm about to watch the Paraguay penalty to win it again.
I hope that's helpful. We'll get to the rest of these trade questions after we do this startup draft. But I thought just collectively, can we take the next 2 minutes here and just watch the end of this this Paraguay-Germany game? Because if I understand this correctly, Paraguay just needs to make the next penalty kick, right?
If they score the next one, it's over. That is correct.
All right, come on, boys. Come on. We just need some breathing.
Let me know
we
when
need some breathing exercises. Don't let the moment be too big for you, son. All right, he's stepping up right now. All right, come on, son. Come on. Do it for your country, man. Yes! Let's go!
Dude, maybe
down goes Germany!
That might be the biggest upset in the last like several.
That is
insane.
Like,
Morocco in 2022, they beat Spain and Portugal, but Morocco is a hell of a lot better than Paraguay is.
This is like wild. I don't think people understand how insane of an upset this is. Germany, Paraguay. Man, the World Cup has been so good this year. It has been so good. Better than I expected as well. But what was the odds before the match, I wonder?
They must have been, I think they were minus 1,200 maybe.
They were huge favorites.
Of that.
I mean, if you put $10 down on Paraguay, you probably made some decent money today. Problem is probably nobody did that. That's the problem. But I mean, that is wild to see Germany go down like that. That's the beauty of the World Cup. Okay, let's go ahead and lock in. You're now drafting for Paraguay, all right? You're drafting for the pride of a country here on the Dynasty Land Football stream. We've got a real startup draft for you. The timer is done. It's time to jump in. This is so we're all on the same page, a 12-team super flex tight end premium. It is a start 10, okay, with a 0.75 on the premium for tight ends. Is there anything that I missed there, Sammy?
No, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
So we are going to go ahead and jump in here. You can start the clock whenever you like, Rowan. Like I said, me and Sammy will be drafting for the 11 spot. And Sammy, you're going to have to message me our options because I don't have access to the ADP with you drafting there.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll do that.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all watching. What a way to start the stream. Congratulations to Paraguay and anybody who is it Paraguayan? Is that the way you say it?
Paraguayan, yeah, I think it must
anybody who's Paraguayan, if you're watching, congratulations to you. As Bijan Robinson comes off the board at the 101. What's up, 30? What's up, Rowan, in the chat? We've got Forbes in the chat. Did Iran get hosed? I don't know what happened. I didn't see it.
No. They got unfortunate.
Okay, they got unfortunate
earlier in the group. I can explain that later.
Okay. Okay.
It is a funny story.
Appreciate y'all being here. I am going to do a giveaway tonight, by the way. So if you'd like to enter to the giveaway for tonight, it's very simple. I'm going to be giving away a live team playbook. All you have to do to enter, step 1 is to like the stream. Step 2 is to type our code word, which is going to be the next league that we host here. In 2 weeks' time, we'll have another startup draft, and it is the Prometheus League. So the code word for tonight is Prometheus. If you want to get into that league, it's fairly simple. All you have to do is become a promo code LAND annual Mother Flocker member. You're going to get the team review. You're going to get the trade hotline with the vouchers, as well as complete access to the site for an entire year. And of course, I will fast track you into a league if you're a brand new member. But landleagues.com is where you can enter over there. Prometheus is the code word tonight. Okay, Sammy, first 3 picks, 2 running backs, and Josh Allen. I made a video recently, and I don't know if anybody's had a chance to watch it. It's over on the Fantasyland Football channel. And the video was titled, Running Backs Are King Again in Fantasy, and here's why. I had a lot of fun with this video. It was more of a research video. I realized that my Fantasyland Football audience are less the research audience versus like player take audience, but it was still a fun video to make. And one of the things that I dove into there was how NFL league trends are changing over the last like 5, 6, 7 years in the NFL. We are seeing the pass rate come down across the league. We're seeing the rush rate come up across the league. And essentially in that video, I made a case as to what factors may be contributing there. And I said very clearly, like, hey, I'm not going to pretend I know something that nobody else does. But one thing that I did mention is too high safeties. The too high safety rate is consistently every year pretty much going up. And you're seeing it align with throw rate going down. To me, it logically makes a lot of sense because if you're going to see more too high safeties, that's going to have lighter boxes, ideally, across the line of scrimmage. You're going to have more rushing lanes to attack. And you're probably not going to want to pass the ball as deep as you would previously. So I say that because it's not a surprise to me we're all in love with running backs nowadays. Okay, we're back to like the days of like 2017 when we were all like, yeah, running backs are freaking sick, dude. I love them. But there was a point there in Dynasty where people wouldn't have even sniffed a running back in round 1 of a startup draft. So it's fun to see all those changes in the league and how it kind of impacts Dynasty football, because I think often people think they're separate games. In a sense, they are, but they're very, very connected. So that's I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. If you've had any opinions on why this is all going down.
Yeah, I think that it does make a lot of sense. It's a copycat league, and everybody, it always goes in trends, right? And right now we're kind of in that trend where it's switched to 2 high safeties, and the running backs have been going nuts. They've also been staying really healthy as well, which I've been conversing with our friend Wheels and Weapons here, because he let me know that he's able to make his first pick.
Okay, cool.
He is going to make his first pick to kick off the draft here, and then
we'll take
you
over.
and I are gonna take it from there. So we've been conversing on the back end a little bit. So we get a little bit of a free square on this first base. We're going to be thrown into the deep end.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see where he goes here. But okay, so Amon-Ra St. Brown is the pick. Not a bad pick at all. I think he was probably the top ranked player on my board. It was between him and 2 other players for me, Sammy. We'll see how this turn goes, but I have a very specific goal for this next pick. We'll see if we're actually able to accomplish it. The reason there were no trades in this particular league, everyone has a 2-minute trade window, by the way, that they can call whenever they want when they're on the clock to negotiate trades. But the reason trades didn't go down pre-draft is because this league came together basically like 10 minutes ago, okay? Like it was down to the wire. We had some people who were in the league, but we weren't able to communicate with them. Someone gave the wrong Discord username, and then we weren't able to contact a couple people. So it came down to the wire. And I put a message out over on the Discord. Make sure if you're a land member that you sync your Discord, because I put a message out. This was, about 30 minutes ago. I said the first person to DM gets a spot for tonight. That's a member. And let me tell you what, I got to find a better way to do that, because I got like 30 DMs in the matter of like 30 seconds.
Hey guys, I'd like to be spammed for the next 20 minutes if you don't mind. Thank you.
I've got to find a different way to do this. But literally, I'm not kidding. When I sent the message, like 2 seconds afterwards, I got a message, and I was like, okay, all right, we're good. But okay, so Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, and Ashton Jeanty come off the board. I am pretty happy with what we have available to us here. At the 11th spot, I don't know if you're on the same page with me, Sammy, but this seems like a no-brainer. Let's message each other. Let's converse on the back end.
Ooh. That would be okay, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so so that wasn't me. That is Wheels and Weapons.
Okay.
So he was able to make his first 2.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So we're in with Amon-Ra and Hampton.
We've got Amon-Ra and Omari on Hampton. Don't hate the start at all. It's a good start there. I was going a different direction, but I think Sammy's probably really happy with that.
Not a totally different direction though.
Yeah. What do you have Hampton over the player I was going to draft?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Same tier.
Okay. What's up, Dervine? Welcome in. Wild Dog is in the building. Scribble says, I do miss the old days where everyone was throwing for 300 yards per game. That was fun. I'm not going to lie. You
still get the occasional shootout, but it's I mean, there's a lot of stuff like if you look at the average like wide receiver 2 points, like wide receivers 13 through 24 over the past few years, it's declined so much because teams have their guys who they're giving a lot of volume to, but there's a lack of a bunch of there's a lack of a bunch of offenses that are all throwing a ton.
Yeah.
Right. It's like we love the Cowboys, we love the Bengals, but there are a ton of teams that just don't. I mean, you look at like a guy like JSN. His range of outcomes last year to hit the ceiling that he did was so thin because the Seahawks did not throw a ton. They just didn't feature anybody else.
Insane efficiency. The deep ball was on point. Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of things went his way there, which I'm not saying is not repeatable there. Okay, so after Amari and Hampton, we got Beach, who starts with 2 quarterbacks here in a super flex format. This is the OG start. This is what you would have seen everyone do back in 2022, 2023. For some reason, the first stream I ever had started to do the rounds on the algorithm, and I started getting people to comment on that stream. And it was hilarious to look back on because you had like Russell Wilson in the first round. It was honestly wild to see.
That is nuts.
But things have certainly changed. Well, there's the pick I was going to make. Jeremiah Love would have been my pick. I don't think Lamar Jackson's a bad pick, or any, Jefferson, Burrow. I don't think they're bad picks at all. But Jeremiah Love is just a bet that is just never failed historically. You know what I mean? Like, that profile has never failed to be an elite fantasy running back. It really hasn't. Guys drafted even top 10. If you don't want to go top 5, just top 10 with his skill set. It's can't miss. As much of a as a pick is can't miss, picking Jeremiah Love in a startup draft is a can't miss pick. So that's where I was going to go. I love Hampton as well. Obviously, his profile has a wider range of outcomes. What I was surprised by was to see like Jefferson go ahead of Jeremiah Love, Joe Burrow go ahead of Jeremiah Love. People are so up and down on Malik Neighbors. I don't know where they stand. Every week they have a different opinion. But I've said this many times.
Like, I would take Neighbors over Amon-Ra.
Okay. I have them in the same tier, so I'm a little bit more indifferent there.
It's same tier, but he's a clear click for me there. I just think that Amon-Ra being 26 and a half, next year's going to be his 27-year-old offseason, everything we know about 27-year-old wide receivers.
Yeah.
I just find it really, really difficult to believe that in a year from now, Neighbors won't be like definitely valued ahead of Amon-Ra.
Sure.
Like
I've made this case in my latest video on Dynasty Land. My wide receiver rankings, I did rankings and had like 7 trade targets in the rankings. And one of the guys that I said was a trade for was Neighbors, but that's because I don't feel like people are valuing him like this, where they have him as like a back end of the first round value. People are worried about him. They're not sure. The reality is with Malik Neighbors, it's right to be concerned from a redraft perspective on what his year will look like. But from a dynasty perspective, I think it's a little bit silly to be worried about his outcome this year because he's going to be healthy at some point. Like, this is not an injury that we are like, oh, what's the long-term repercussions? Yeah. We've seen plenty of players recover from this. Yes, there's videos of him playing softball and limping. Like, okay, big deal. When it's week 10 and he's getting 9 targets a game,
this is exactly what I'm saying, Zach.
You know what I mean? Like, are you really going to be
Neighbors versus
concerned?
I think the conversation is him versus like Amon-Ra, Jefferson, Lamb, right? And that sort of tier. And the thing is like the age is one thing. And look, there's a lot of arguments in a lot of situations where people will say, oh, a year from now, this will be valued ahead of that, whatever, right?
Yeah.
We're about to be on the clock. I'm just going to prepare ourselves here. But I think that by week 10, they're going to be like it's in redraft leagues. Amon-Ra and Neighbors are going to be neck and neck in terms of who you prefer. Yeah. Amon-Ra or Neighbors and Jefferson, Neighbors and CD, whatever. Like, he will be scoring points eventually this year. If you can get by until then, he's going to be a guy who you need to have, who you really want to have. And the next offseason, he's, the age thing just pushes it ahead for me.
He before his injury last year, I talked about this in the video. He was the wide receiver 2 in Dynasty football before his injury last year. He's 22 or 23 years old? I mean, if he, let's say from week 10 to 18, if he averages 9 targets per game, there's absolutely a scenario here where he's the wide receiver 1 in Dynasty football. 100% that's a range of outcomes. How young he is, how much everyone loved him as a prospect. If you just see him like as a healthy player, that he's, in my opinion, there's very few receivers out there that could be the wide receiver 1 in Dynasty football, that could elevate themselves to that range. Like, I love Drake London, for example. I don't think he can be wide receiver 1. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't think Amon-Ra, Jefferson, at his age, anymore, I don't think these guys could elevate themselves to be the wide receiver 1 overall. He's in a rare position where he could actually do that. Okay.
Oh. What?
So...
Okay.
I am going to go ahead and assume that we are not drafting for Team 11 because are you guys talking back and forth?
I didn't.
That's okay, though. That's okay.
I was not made aware that was going to happen.
Okay. So Justin Herbert comes off the board. Not a bad pick by any means. Not a bad pick. You and I might have gone like a slightly different direction, but this is Wheels and Wheels' team, and I want him to be able to get the exact team that he wants there. So one thing we need to talk about is in the second round we had James Cook coming off the board.
Oh my gosh!
Did you realize that? And all the chaos of our
no.
conversations, James Cook coming off the board, that has got to be the highest he's gone. What would that be? That would be the 22nd player overall. Am I understanding that correctly?
No, that would be 22nd.
So that would be 22nd overall. He's never gone that high. In fact, he's never gone in the second round in any real startup draft we've done this year. So, look, I love James Cook, but if that's his price point, I am selling.
Yeah, I mean, this is just Nico taking his shot here. I think he probably makes it back to the 310, no?
I would say probably, yeah.
I'd be surprised if it feels like he's in a tier of guys who normally go, late third, maybe normally in the early to mid fourth. I think McBride maybe goes a little later here than normally based on the 0.75. I like the Loveland pick.
Okay, Loveland at the 212. Remember, this is a 0.75 tight end premium. It's a little bit heavier than your 0.5 that we are typically seeing. That's why you would have seen Bowers gone at the 108. And then Loveland into the second round, which we have seen that before. In this format, I'm not sure if I want Loveland or James Cook. I probably want Loveland, actually, in this type of format.
Not close for
right?
me. That's not close for me.
So, yeah, we've seen him go in the second round multiple times. There is a high cost to being in on Loveland, but we do believe he has a great chance to repay that cost that it currently takes to add him to your squad.
I think there's a few things with him. Like, I just think that he's one of these tight, like Bowers and McBride to go before him, right? He can lead his team in targets. And I think that's clearly what you look for. I mean, everybody talks about, Burden is Ben Johnson's guy, because the argument is always Burden versus Rome.
Yeah.
Right? That's always the argument. It's like, Burden is Ben Johnson's guy. He drafted him. And that's something that I, think that is a point of emphasis. But I mean, he also took Loveland with a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
100%.
That's big, man. And I believe in Caleb. I believe in the Bears. You are paying for it, though. That is a good point. Like with him, at the 212 here, he's got to be good. You know,
I agree.
Jalen Hurts. This start from Vautour is pretty.
This is
juicy.
This is pretty much the team you and I wanted to put together. Actually, obviously we weren't drafted. We're going to be drafting, I believe, from here on out at the 111. I'm not sure, but if it was up to me, we would have had Love and Hurts on the squad here. I do like Hampton and Herbert though. Two very, very good options as well. So honestly, quite similar starts between the 107 and the 111 as far as like structure. It's just different Jimmys and Joes instead of X's and O's. As George Pickens falls to the 307, we're not seeing that too often. That's a nice fall from him. Haven't seen Pickens go behind James Cook or Taylor. I don't think in many drafts. Let's see. How often has Jonathan Taylor been drafted ahead of him? Pickens was picked earlier in about 67% of drafts this offseason. For James Cook, same thing, actually. Wow. So both Cook and Taylor being drafted in about, quick maths, 33% of leagues ahead of Mr. George Pickens. But, guys, appreciate y'all being here with us. Thanks for hanging out. We got the lines, by the way, I saw for Paraguay. I saw someone put them in the chat. Let's see, where were they? Who won the World Cup today?
600 to go through.
Okay, plus 600 to advance. The betting world, it ended in a draw technically, which was plus 400-ish.
Because you bet on, I mean, there's two ways to do it. You can bet on just who goes through, because obviously it has to end, or then there's the bet on the 90 minutes, which is win, draw, win. So they were plus 400. It was plus 400 for them to tie in 90 minutes, and then they were plus 600 to advance.
So you could have turned 10 into 40 or 100 into 400, technically. Those are pretty good odds. But obviously no one thought this was going to happen.
If anybody was putting $100, I'm surprised it wasn't more, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to say plus 400 actually feels pretty conservative. Okay, after Jalen Hurts, we get George Pickens, Patrick Mahomes, and Emeka Egbuka, who, man, I just love having Egbuka on my Dynasty rosters, man. Just love having him on my Dynasty rosters. Just feels so safe. Feels so good to see that name. He is another name that I think has a chance to, at some point, if he reaches his peak, to be the number one wide receiver in Dynasty. I know not everybody's going to agree with me there, but he is. There's not many names that I think can be the number one at this point anymore. Like, if you're going to surpass the JSN Chase Puka tier, you have to be a young ascending player. You know, I don't even think George Pickens can do it. I don't think CD or Jefferson. No. Those guys can score 20 points per game this year. I don't think they're able to do it.
They won't. They're not. They're going to be 28.
Yeah. So
yeah, Egbuka he's the pick there. I mean, he's the
Egbuka and Neighbors got to be the favorites.
Here's the thing, it's Neighbors too. It's funny with Egbuka, nobody thinks that everybody's like, oh, that's so far fetched.
Yeah.
You would have said the same thing about JSN a year ago. You would have said the exact same thing about JSN this time last year, and
100%.
We just don't know. That's why it's always profiles over these sort of doubting takes.
I think
I really like that turn from Petrowski, by the way. Lawrence
the double tap at quarterback there. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. I don't even think that McMillan can do it. It's not that he, as a profile, I think he's capable, but you would just need to see a pretty big change in Bryce Young's game for even a McMillan to reach that type of ceiling.
Yeah, it's hard because, I think, would we have said the same thing about Darnold?
No, for sure we would have.
It's difficult. I think that McMillan I think his path to that is similar to what JSN did last year. It's an insane consolidation and some nuts efficiency on double tight end.
Wow.
On a 32+% target share. Right? Yeah. That's kind of the path. It's just a very thin bet. The range, the odds he hits that very narrow path are very low.
Yeah.
Where I think that it's a wider net of paths for a guy like Egbuka.
Dude, I am like honestly shocked to see Fannin that high. It is a 0.75 Titan premium, but
yeah, still
that's like jarring to see. Again, I don't think I've seen him go. We've had full point premium leagues, you know. His highest was 33rd. That must have been the full point premium one. I don't know what 4.2 would be overall. I guess that would be cheaper than his highest price point. But I wanted to talk about Carnell Tate as well when we talk about this potential wide receiver 1 situation. Like, I think he has maybe a greater chance than McMillan in the sense of McMillan has a safer profile. You've seen him already produce in the NFL at this point, right? But in the sense of like, what is Cam Ward capable of? We don't know the answer to that just yet. Is there a year 2 breakout for Cam Ward? You know, can he turn into, you know, like a CJ Stroud even? You know, even if he's CJ Stroud, there's potential for the target share for Tate to allow him to kind of elevate in the next 2 to 3 years. It's certainly not going to happen. Like, we're not going to be in drafts next year and Carnell Tate's like a first round pick, but I think he could reach the level of like where Drake London is relatively soon, if the performance is there. But the list is small, man. The list is small on the amount of people who can claim the wide receiver 1 overall tag. Guys, appreciate you being here with us. Go ahead and do me a favor. If you want to enter today's giveaway, which is essentially a live team playbook, all right? If you want to win a customized review of your Dynasty football team, all you have to do to enter is simply like the stream. That is step 1, is to like the stream. Step 2 is to type our code word, which for today is Prometheus. The reason that's our code word is because that is the next real Dynasty startup draft that we will do. That's the name of the league for LAN members in 2 weeks from now. Okay, you can check that out on landleagues.com. Any new promo code LAN member is able to get fast-tracked into those leagues. This is Superflex. Yes, Dan, that's right. This is Superflex. Jonah says, Fannin went at the 412 and Medusa with a full point premium. Okay.
That's a full point.
Full point. Full point.
I just sent you my short list, Zach, if you want to take a quick little gander.
I love all these names. I will say like my ideal outcome. I'll just send you my ideal outcome for this turn.
Let me know. Yeah, that'd be awesome. What do you think? Who do we need first?
I think we need this one first.
We'll see what Beach does first here.
Because I don't think that one.
Probably. I think I agree with you.
By the way, I didn't notice, but Crush. Okay, well that dream's dead. The dream that we had. Burden was one of the names we said we ideally want to hear. Well, that makes it easy then, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, unless Wheels wants to make the pick, I think we know what we would do here.
No,
right?
We got it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead. We're gonna take. We're gonna try and win this year. We're gonna go with Rashee Rice.
What does that make him off the board, by the way? I'll count as you talk.
Yeah. Could end up with 2 top 5 receivers this year in points per game.
That's such a good discount. That's wide receiver 17.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's way too cheap. It really is way too cheap. He's gonna play.
It's like you're paying T. Higgins range for a guy that can average over 18 points per game. It's like he's my wide receiver 10 in Dynasty, by the way, and we got him at wide receiver 17.
Pretty nice. It is pretty nice.
That's huge value.
So then this is the only guy left of who we talked about previously. I just sent it to you. Okay, and wow. All right, he goes.
Let me have a quick look at my rankings here. Let me just see if there's anybody that's obvious.
You know what? I actually really like the third guy in the list that I just sent to you. If you're open to that, I feel like this is a really good price.
Right. I'm not opposed to this name. I'm not opposed. Let me think 1 second though. But that's where you would be.
Well, yeah, just with the build, because I prefer I prefer this guy in a vacuum.
Yeah.
But I think that it's close. It's very, very close. I mean, like, they're 4 spots apart in my rankings. So, given the team build,
yeah, I think I'm with you. We have 20 seconds. Let me just double check I'm not missing anything.
25. I got him in the queue, so don't worry about the timer.
Okay. I thought Chase Brown was available. He's not. Yeah, let's make that pick. I think that pick, he is like the very top of a tier. I've actually given him his own little mini tier in my running back rankings, because I think he's deserving of like a mini tier with that contract and just the prospect that he is, what he's capable of. And I also think that I've talked about this many times this offseason. I think you agree. We are maybe undervaluing what the Jets offense could be in the next 3 years. Quarterback play is clearly the biggest barrier to success. But man, if you just have like not even top 10 quarterback play, if you just have top 20 quarterback play, the offensive line is good. Now you've got insane weaponry, probably the best weaponry they've had. I mean, I can't remember the last time they had this amount of legitimate weapons on the roster. Truly, like, someone tell me the last time they had a depth chart that looked this promising.
Largely unproven.
Yeah,
but still, like, investing 2 first-round picks in pass catchers can only be a good thing.
Yeah,
we talk a lot about, I don't want Omar Cooper or Kenyon Sadiq because the Jets suck. Well, drafting 2 first-round pass catchers should hopefully make the offense better. I think the big thing that people are missing is, like, what you have this year is potential for this offense to be like middle of the pack. I think that Geno is better than what he put on tape last year with the Raiders and what the disaster that was with the offensive line and the terrible play calling and whatever else. So you have the potential that the Jets are like, even if they're like, as long as they're not bottom 10, Brees should get enough volume to be really, really good.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to be some playoff contender. So you're still going to have a high enough pick along with the other 2 first-round picks that they have to maneuver for a rookie quarterback in the 2027 class. So
let me ask you this.
Long-term also feels good.
If Brees Hall signed the same deal, but he got the Travis Etienne treatment, let's say he was in New Orleans this year. He signs that same deal that he signed in New York, but in New Orleans. I don't see a scenario in which he gets out of the early 4th round. Like, it's just because he's on the Jets, which I understand.
He would be in the same tier. Like, I think he would get the same treatment as Ken Walker because worse offense, of course, but I think people think that Brees is better than Ken Walker.
Yes, I think you're right. So, I understand that there hasn't been a good Jets quarterback in a long time. They are in a very unique position. And yes, the 2027 class has to pan out, but right now it does look 1 year out like a good quarterback class. I think at minimum, like worst case scenario, you could get like a CJ Stroud level type of quarterback in this upcoming class. And you've got, I know that there's a big stigma around quarterbacks in New York, but why would a young quarterback not want to go to New York right now with what they've set up outside of the history of the position there? Like, to know that you've got a bona fide number 1 in Wilson, to have a really young, fun project in Omar Cooper out of the slot playing inside outside. A.D. Mitchell as your wide receiver 3 is perfect long term. You've got Kenyon Sadiq, who's going to massively improve the run game, as well as a fun kind of threat in the red zone. Mason Taylor's a great tight end too. He's not a good tight end 1. So, I understand it's the Jets. And look, I understand. You can always win an argument against the Jets by saying because it's the Jets. Like, that isn't, you're going to win that argument 100 times out of 100. But man, if you put a confident quarterback, young prospect in that room, I think there's a lot of potential. And who knows who is the next Sam Darnold out there? Who is the next Baker Mayfield out there? We constantly see these guys who are good prospects who are just not in the right scenario. I'm not saying Geno Smith is the future, but at the same time, in the last 4 years, we've seen Geno Smith, for the vast majority of his seasons, play really good football. It's totally possible that the Raiders were just worst case scenario. offensive line, weaponry, coaching staff, it's totally possible that he returns to like
we're giving
this
Genty
top
a lot of grace,
20
right?
play.
Like the Genty thing, we talk about Genty and how like, you know, he was like, I think I brought this stat up here. It was from Ben Solak. Out of like almost 500 running backs in the last like decade, he was like third last in yards before contact per attempt. Like he's getting hit so early in the backfield on average every single play. Like
60% of his yardage came. I think it's actually like 65+% of his yardage came from after the contact last year. So
yeah, like and that is bad for Geno as much as it is bad for Genty. Like few quarterbacks would have been able to make that situation work.
100%.
And he obviously looked really bad in that situation, but I just think that the Geno is better than he can just be serviceable. He doesn't need to be phenomenal. He doesn't need to have like a Sam Darnold season. He just needs to be fine.
Exactly. We're on the same page there. So, and it's a much better offensive line, as you kind of mentioned there. But
the offensive line is built. They've extended both guards. Yep. I think they've extended both guards and their center, and they have 2 tackles that they've taken in the top 10.
I do hate that Frank Reich is OC, but to be fair, he's had success in the league, and it's typically been not being a head coach. So
I also think that we're setting the bar too high. What do we really think that Frank Reich can't put out the 10th worst offense in the league?
Right.
With this personnel? Like, I'm not asking them to make the playoffs. I'm not asking them to score 25 points.
They just need to be top 22, right?
Yeah.
As an offense, that's possible.
Like, we draft running backs on terrible offenses all the time.
Yep.
Right? Like we still think that Achane is gonna be good, even though Mike McDaniel's gone and they have Bobby Slowick, who has only infuriated people from an offensive scheme perspective.
Yep.
Like, we do this with a lot of guys.
Yep.
100%. It's just like the stink of the Jets. It's like the Jets stink, and they've never had a good quarterback.
If you've made that case in the last,
you've been right.
5 to 10 years, let's say 3 decades almost. You've been right. If you said, I don't like the Jets, you've just by saying that, you have been correct. We did have a big trade that went down. Maybe if Rowan can send me a screenshot of that trade, I'll pull it up for you guys. But
was it really just a 5-7?
I guess this looks quite simple. I don't know if there's any future picks involved at all, but it looks like Rowan moved back from the 507 to
Rowan
get that entire turn.
Probably.
Sorry?
He moves down in the better round, the same amount of picks, but he probably has a big tier and is just happy accruing some extra value.
It does look as simple
I like
as
the lemon pick,
one
honestly.
Player moving up and down. So Rome will let us know if there's anything else attached to that. But yes. Okay. Judkins at the 5.6, Marvin at the 5.5. Is that high for Marvin or
feels high? Like taking him over Mekhi Lemon is a little.
I'm starting to get into a lot of fantasy football drafts instead of Dynasty, and it's now my brain is all mushed up. But he's typically the 5'11", the 59th overall player. So here in the 505, it's not crazy. But man, I don't think you could sell Marvin for a top 5 pick or top 4 pick in rookie drafts this year. And he did go ahead of Mekhi Lemon and Mendoza there.
I completely agree. I don't think many people are doing that.
Yeah. Mendoza at the 508. Don't hate this start at all from Jesse. It's a fun one there. I do kind of wonder about the Lamb pick with the rest of the roster. You know?
Is there anything to the idea that like why are you taking, like, I'm not saying that Jesse's done anything wrong here, but I'm just saying you're taking a quarterback who's probably not going to play for the first little bit of the season while you need to win because you have CeeDee Lamb. Like, you cannot take CeeDee Lamb and not try and contend this year.
Yeah.
So
I guess, like, balance. What would he have done there instead? Like, maybe Achane or London or something?
Up top?
Yeah. Lamb wasn't bad value there
London?
by any means.
No, I don't think so. But I think that once I get to the 5th round, I'm probably taking Dak over Mendoza then.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you there actually, because that would have been like the natural stack. By the way, Rowan currently a start here with no quarterbacks through 6 rounds, but he's got a great running back and wide receiver core. I mean, that's a solid start for him. Okay, so it doesn't look like there was any. Thanks for sending this, Rowan. There wasn't any additional compensation, as it were.
Picks, yeah.
Just that straight swap, which honestly probably makes sense for both of them, because if Petrowski's like, oh, there's a guy here that's in a clear tier, he got Micaiah Lemon, and I don't care about the 601 to the 606. I mean, it makes sense for both of these guys for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it definitely does. I think Lemon is a nice guy to move up for there. I do also think that like Price at the 6-1, assuming that he would have been drafted, is a really nice guy that Rowan gets to move up from the 606 for.
By the way, on this comment, I think this comment actually, I don't know if you realize, CC, I think you are emphasizing what we are saying. I don't know if you're realizing it, but you said, I don't think it's going to be a top 25 offense, but Breece Hall will be a top 15 running back. I think
he's not arguing with us. I don't think. I think he's just saying
right. Sure. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sure where he's standing on like the whole Breece Hall, like if he's in or out, but I think that's the fun part about taking Breece Hall. It's like, okay, I know what he's going to be in a bad offense, but what if they were top 20? You know, what if they developed into a top 15 offense? Like, if I told you the Jets this year were a top 15 offense in the NFL, Breece Hall probably scores 17 to 18 points per game. You know?
Yeah. I think the contract.
But you know what he's capable of as a floor, right?
I think the contract is evidence of that. You know, like you follow the money, right? Like it's a James Cook-esque thing for me, where obviously the Jets are not the Bills, of course.
Yeah.
But like we were dealing with a lot of Braylon Allen's going to be involved, and he was. Breece didn't have more
Bro,
than
did you hear that
50%
Braylon
of the
Allen
carries.
apparently put on 30 pounds this offseason?
Apparently he's 250. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
Even when he came into the league at like 230 or what was it, 225 or something, I was like, this guy does not move well. That's the thing. Like, Braylon Allen is just, I'm sorry, he's not competition to Breece Hall.
But even then, Zach, last year, Breece didn't get more than 50% of the carries until Braylon Allen got hurt. Like, they were absolutely using him and working him in. But now, I do not think for a second they're going to want to be doing that, because Breece is the guy that they paid, and they want to get the most out of their money.
If he is actually 250, you might as well change that R to an F in your position, okay? You might as well.
I mean, he thinks that he's there. He's trying to be Derrick Henry. That's what he's doing.
But you're not. You're just not Derrick Henry.
We got Kraken going with the bully quarterback strategy. He's taking Goff after 3 quarterbacks through 6 rounds.
Let me ask you about this, because I'm not here to say whether it's a good or bad strategy. But have you deployed this type of strategy before? We've got, like stacking up on tight end or quarterback on like these onesie positions. Jesse does it as well.
2 in a row.
I have found I don't really deploy this strategy personally. If I can help it. If I'm in a situation where it's like, hey, clearly the best player is at this position, who cares? I'm going to take the best player available and figure it out later. But I think at times when I've done this in the past, it feels like people now expect a discount on that player when I'm trying to move him, It takes a lot of work to really, and I'm not saying that it won't work out, but it takes a lot of work to find that common ground with someone, and get a deal done if you're ultimately looking to move one of these quarterbacks. So
I think that this is where I am on it. Like, if I'm drafting in a league where I know everybody and I know that everybody's active and all this kind of stuff, then I think that it's fine just to go straight value, but I think that Jesse, when we were talking about the Mendoza thing earlier, he had said, I only care about value. I'm trading all of these players.
Right.
Which I think is a fine thought process, but when it comes time to actually do that, like, people aren't going to overpay for your quarterbacks, I don't
Sometimes it gets messy, and a lot of times people will expect you to maybe do them a favor to get like a position that you want. But every league is different. I'm not saying that it won't work out. I was going to say, I thought T. Higgins was available, Sammy. I was going to lose my mind for a second, but he's not.
I'm going to send you a little short list here of my top.
I got such a good price on Javonte Williams.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, dude. That's just such a good price.
That is actually exactly where I have him ranked. I have him as my 58th overall player. That would be the end of the 5th round then, wouldn't it? Am I tripping? Yeah, no, actually, that's a round of value in my opinion then. Yeah, I'm good with that, Zach.
Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure, because I think if we don't take him, we will be outside of a tier I like, and yeah. I think he's the play here. Yeah, let's go ahead and make that pick if you're cool with it.
Yeah, that's good with me. We're gonna take Baker, lock up this QB2, and then I'm gonna be very happy with whoever we get at. Do you like one of those 3 guys that I put in there at the?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think if this guy's available in the 7th, then it's kind of a no-brainer. Okay. But I also love him.
Yeah,
I love all these names, so like all 3 of those guys I'm happy with. And reality is the decision's probably going to be made for us.
You think so?
I think he probably takes, yeah. So Bucky was one of the names.
Bucky goes.
Okay, there you go. Well,
so those were the 2. So Crush is looking at my rankings. I mean, I'm very happy to take the guy that we have left here.
Yes, I'm just going to check my rankings real quick one last time.
Fits the build.
But yeah, let's do it. I think he makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, we're going to take Jalen Waddle.
This is a powerhouse team, actually, as a contender this year.
Yeah, we're going for the chip, man. We're going for the chip in year 1, and I think that we'll have a shot at it.
Yeah, if Amarian Hampton reaches his potential in year 1, or year 2, sorry, there's no reason why that team can't compete. Man, a lot of people doubling up on these onesies. Yeah. Well, it's not onesie in Superflex, but
Tucker Kraft, Kyle Pitts, yeah. See, this is the thing. Yeah, man, like I'm perfectly fine to just opt out of the tight end craze because of 0.25 points.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. That we didn't say anything, but I think we were in sync, because I feel like these tight ends are getting pushed up too far.
Like Bowers, McBride, and Loveland, I'm fine with the prices.
Yes. I also don't even mind Warren.
I think is
I don't mind Warren there. It was maybe a little too early for my appetite, but I don't think it's too crazy. Transparently, enough, Johnny Bravo probably could have left him for round 4 with Petrowski already going tight end.
Well, but then he can't get Warren and Fannin.
That's true, actually. That's true.
Funnily enough, Kyle Pitts is the one I'm the most okay with.
The one I'm the most okay with is actually Tucker Kraft, his 5th round pick.
Let me think. So 60 would be the 512. That means the 612 is 72. Yeah. This is like barely ahead of where I have Pitts ranked in a half point.
So Vitor also gets 3 quarterbacks. So we now have 1, 2, 3 teams with 3 quarterbacks through 7 rounds. This is a super flex format.
So now everybody's going to be rushing to Nico and to Crush and to Rowan, trying to trade them their quarterbacks, and the market and Rowan's going to be like, wow, I have all of these quarterbacks available to me. I don't need to pay a lot at all.
Rowan does grab Cam Ward, by the way, at the 707. So future NFL MVP, right?
Hey, man, check out my video I posted today if you want to find out more about that.
You do like him, though, right?
I mean, I am excited, and I think that there's a good amount of upside, and it's mainly because of Brian Daboll.
Okay, yeah.
I think that it's a really, really stable situation for him.
Sure.
And I think a lot of the time, like how guys, like I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend that I'm able to evaluate NFL quarterbacks, but if Cam is good, if he has it, I think he'll show it this year.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to everybody who's drafting with us. Appreciate all of y'all being part of the community.
I think Wild Dog got hacked again.
Yeah, I was gonna say I doubt saying free Terrion Arnold is something Wild Dog would say, but hard to say. I don't know. Everyone's got different opinions.
It's hard to say.
So I want to give a big shout out to everybody like Petrowski, Johnny, Nico, Kraken, Jesse. Obviously, our commissioners are awesome with Rowan, Vitor, Timorak, Vin, Beach, Wills, Crush. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate everybody who joins the community and shows some love to the channel. You guys are very much helping me keep the lights on over here. So appreciate you big time. As Kyler Murray,
like
in the
Nico,
710,
I mean,
this is a scary build from Nico. I'm not gonna lie. Like in a good way.
I'm not scared. I mean, James Cook. Is too high, I think, but yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Like James Cook too high, but
you and I disagree on Kyler, Zach. I didn't even put him in the text that I sent to you, but I have him ranked ahead of Baker.
Okay.
I didn't even put him.
If Baker was gone, Kyler would have been the quarterback I would have selected there, but
okay.
Or actually, it would have been either him or Shuck. I do like Shuck more than you.
That is true.
Tootin at the 712 is pretty damn good value, actually.
Good pick.
The fact that he's going after Dirka Henry, a little surprising. Like this build from Petrowski. Only thing is those wide receivers, very young, very unproven.
I like that build a lot, man. I mean, I know that I'm the BTJ guy, but like,
yeah,
you're like loaded at quarterback and tight end, in my opinion. You have the hammer running back. Omar Cooper's a fun pick as well, I think.
Yeah. I do think this team is going to struggle to compete in year one, though. A lot has to go right for them to compete in year one. Mainly the entire wide receiver room really needs to like outperform expectations.
Yeah, I also think that sometimes it's good to go a different route when it seems like a lot of like nobody's obviously trading their firsts here in this draft. Yeah. Maybe it's just like the fast element or whatever, but this could be a guy who tries to acquire those types of assets.
Guys, we are heading into round 8. Appreciate everybody being here. I'm having a lot of fun today. This is a unique draft, honestly. This is very unique. I think the 0.75 tight end premium changed some things up. Wow. It is definitely changing things up. We've got
third tight end.
Multiple teams stacking on tight ends, stacking on quarterbacks. Appreciate all of y'all being here. I just want to let you know that I am doing a giveaway today. And it's a big boy. It's a big boy giveaway as we just had a trade go down. But if you want to enter the giveaway today, all you have to do to enter is simply like today's stream. That's step 1. And step 2 is to type our code word of the day, which is the title of our next Dynasty Startup draft in 2 weeks' time. Prometheus, okay? So if you'd like to enter the draft, all you have to do, enter the drawing, the giveaway, all you have to do is simply like today's stream and type Prometheus. I appreciate y'all being here, hanging out. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's so much to talk about right now. So first off, Nico is not going to be buying. If you bought into 3 quarterbacks, I think Nico's going to be just fine this year. I think he's probably going to be rolling Murray and Stafford out and seeing what happens. Secondly, Josh Jacobs remains the best buy low at running back in Dynasty for contending teams. It's quite frankly not even close. The fact that Jacobs goes after like an Omar Cooper, a Matthew Stafford, like think about this for a second. People are not willing. Okay, so Cooper, what do you rank him, like the 110 in this format in a rookie draft? Do you think you could send the 110 for Josh Jacobs this year? I don't think so. It have to be an Omar Cooper fan.
I don't know. I think that some people would do that.
You're right. There's a percentage, maybe 20%.
I think that maybe that's incorrect, but I don't think it's that far off. He is about to be 29. Like,
yeah. Look, I'm just down for guys that I know are going to handle 300 touches, and and cost this cheap in a good offense. Stafford, you can't sell for a first. Gadsden, you couldn't dream of selling for a first, even in this format. You couldn't sell Stroud for a first that's worthwhile. Maybe the 110 range for sure. I just think Jacobs, if you're out there and you're wanting to compete, this is why I didn't understand it from a Rowan perspective, because we did have a trade that went down, and Rowan, it looks like, targeted Josh Jacobs. I understand it from his perspective. I don't know where this team is going, I guess. It's not a contending team. It's just Cam Ward is not good enough as your quarterback one. But I like that price. Like 8th round, Josh Jacobs is just too good to pass up on. He on average is the 702 in drafts this year, by the way.
I guess it is a really good value on where he's been going.
Yeah,
I do think it's a good value on the board. I do agree. Yeah, I guess a round after Etienne and Henry is where I'm thinking, like, that's probably a bridge too far.
Yeah. Addison off the board. I know you've talked about him as a buy low. I also talked about a buy low in my latest video.
I would have liked him here.
There's a lot of people who are giving grace to Justin Jefferson, rightfully so, as they should. But it feels like nobody else in that offense is getting any grace. Like,
what I don't understand is that Jordan Addison finished as a wide receiver 2, a low one. He's like from 20 to 24, the first 2 seasons of his career.
Yeah.
He was good as a rookie. He showed improvement as a sophomore. And then we had a terrible quarterback year. Now we believe that competent quarterback play is coming in. Kyler doesn't have to be elite. He just has to be competent. And Jordan Addison's being drafted for redraft leagues like the wide receiver 40. He's being valued outside of the top 30 Dynasty wide receivers, despite the fact that he's 24 years old and projects to be a wide receiver 2 from the, data, in my opinion. I guess maybe it's a lack of confidence in Kyler thing. I just don't have a lack of confidence that Kyler's going to be able to have this offense be functional from a passing volume perspective. That I do not think is a thin bet at all.
Yeah. I think that's fair. As Sam Darnold goes in the 8th round here to T. Morak, who looks like he could compete. Laporta there is maybe not a bad pick with the premium, just considering, which maybe you're talking me into Pitts in this format. Like Jameson versus Laporta with that premium, that's pretty close, actually. Okay.
Sending you some.
Me and Sammy are talking through this next pick.
That's my little short list. If you have anybody else you like, let me know.
Let me look through our options here.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm fine passing on the first guy you mentioned, or that you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. You know what though? I don't mind taking. Let me send you one.
I thought he was gone.
Oh, he is gone. Sorry.
Yeah, he's gone. No, you're good.
I was like, dang, he looks like a good value here. Yeah, I like all those picks that you mentioned. They're all kind of in that tier for me.
Okay, you want to go with that first one? I do think that first one is a good. He's also a good talking point because I do think he's insanely undervalued right now based on what we're doing with redraft.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
let's go there. So we're gonna grab Christian Watson here. So
Zach, this is fun. So really quick, Christian Watson is the only wide receiver in all of fantasy football, 27 years old or younger, that is being drafted as a top 30 wide receiver in redraft that isn't valued as a top 30 wide receiver in Dynasty.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
And it makes sense because of the inconsistencies that he's had in his career. But I do think
at the
it's
same
a good
time,
value.
I feel like that's baked into redraft as well, is it not?
No, 100%.
Like,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Should be at least. Yeah. I think that that's something that should be baked into redraft as much as it is baked into Dynasty. The fact that he's, he's spiky and he's been injured and all this kind of stuff.
Yep. I do think that this receiver room has been difficult to project for a long time. I do think people are underestimating how much easier it is now to project, though. Losing Dobbs and Wicks, it really makes things a lot more clear, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm fine with the running back here.
Yeah, do you care which?
I do. I don't want the last one you said.
Just say who you.
Okay, let's go with that one.
Okay.
So we're gonna add DeAndre Swift here in the 9th. This is definitely a team that is ready to compete, Sammy.
Yeah, we're gonna Wheels. If you're watching this back, this is probably a team where you go into the season and you try and put a couple wins together early, and then maybe offload your 2027 first. Go for the chip in year 1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be drafting the post round 10 for Wheels. I'm gonna try and add some youth upside bets because our wide receiver room is quite getting up there.
100%.
But I think this is a good team.
Swifty in the building. RJ Harvey is the next pick. By the way, T Morak is going to be auto picked if he's clearly got a queue, but probably want to turn that auto pick off if you want to consider all your options when you're on the clock.
I think he said something earlier about he had a meeting that got moved,
okay.
So he was gonna have to auto pick a few.
That's okay. He's got his queue up.
He's getting Ricky P, which I think is a good pick. I think Ricky's a good value there.
This is a great question, Sparrow. How many wide receivers have broken out at the age of 27? I think this is a unique case. Number one, Christian Watson,
And he's really good at the end of last year.
I don't think he's had this normal path that most wide receiver breakouts have, right? It's not like he was a Division I guy. He wasn't a consensus first-round pick. He was 23 years old as a rookie. But don't forget that as a rookie, how many rookies have put up 41 catches, 600 yards, and 7 touchdowns? So it's not like he hasn't shown flashes. It's not like he hasn't shown potential. I just think that clearly there's been injuries involved. There's been a really crowded wide receiver room. And we know the crowded wide receiver room is now fixed. We don't know if he's going to be able to stay healthy. But, if you look at my projections for him this year, Christian Watson, and projections don't account for injuries, but I have him projected for 13.6 points per game. Okay? That's 111 targets and a 22% target share, which is pretty aggressive. But I just don't see where the target share is going anymore. They are now forced to actually feature some of these guys. I hope that means another receiver in Green Bay gets featured a little bit more. I do think that means that our answer is probably Tucker Kraft to who is the number one weapon there. But I think if healthy, he's going to have an incredible season.
Yeah, he in 10 games last year, coming off of an ACL tear.
Yeah.
He put up 13.2 points per game.
Yeah.
2.64 yards per route run, Zach.
Yeah.
He was, he was just really, really good. That's a 20% target share. I don't see, if you want to be completely out, okay, sure, whatever. But if you're gonna at least like leave room for the fact that you're wrong, if you look at what we're doing for 2026,
yeah,
he's a good value.
I agree with you. We're right there on the same page. I think it would be different if like this contract somehow elevated him up rankings and draft boards, but as you already said, I mean, he's very affordable. He's very cheap. He's not someone that you have to pay an arm and a leg for, really.
Yeah, they paid him while he was hurt too.
Yeah.
Like they put that confidence in him before he came back healthy, and then he came back healthy.
Yeah.
So
we got some more tight ends coming off the board. Isaiah Likely, Dalton Kincaid, Eli Stowers.
Stowers is a good pick, I think, in a tight end premium.
Might be, Sammy, he might be like a post-hype target.
Sleeper? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate him as a post-hype sleeper. They've talked about how the injury seems to be like not as much of a problem.
Yeah. It's lingering, which is a concern. But when you look at all of these
be able to get on the field
analytics, like when you look at like a per target basis, yards per route run, yards per catch, usage out wide. I mean, the problem is he's not ever playing like 90% of the snaps so far in his career.
Yeah.
Because they do like Knox. But man, if he is ever featured, I don't think it's crazy to say if he was ever featured, he would definitely be a top 6 tight end finisher, 100%. It's just he's not consistently featured. It's more of like a gadget type of including of him. We are now at the point where Johnny Not Bravo has 4 tight ends and 2 wide receivers. He has double the amount of tight ends than he does wide receivers and running backs. Some of y'all are going crazy with this premium.
You love to see it.
Look, I mean, I could look like an idiot in a year's time. Who knows? I mean, maybe these guys are all what you want to fill your flex with. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Some of these tight ends are getting pushed up a little too much, I guess. Johnny says Josh Allen looks like a tight end. That's why I drafted him.
That's funny. This is like my auction draft.
Yeah.
That was only 2 tight ends, and I got clowned about it for weeks.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Bascu means by this,
though.
By the way. I don't know what you mean by divisions affecting stuff on Sleeper. That's probably a question for your commish.
I mean, maybe he just means like,
damn.
I don't know. It means that, like you're gonna play those guys more during the season, and a lot of the times the winner of the division gets an automatic playoff spot, no matter what kind of thing.
Damn, dude, I really wanted one of those vets to come back to us, like Mike Evans, Terry, Adams.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I
really like this price for Malik Willis. Just taking the shot.
What do you think about that?
That's Val Tour's 4th quarterback with Daniel Jones.
Doubling up quarterbacks versus running backs. What do you think about the player I sent you?
Oh.
Too high for you?
It's a little ahead of where I have ranked, but I'm not enamored with anybody.
I'm not
to
I don't think
I think that's a perfectly good pick.
Have to do this, but I am definitely considering it. And then do we grab this player at some point? I think it's too early, but this well will run dry. I don't know if you maybe want to give him the task to trade afterwards. Maybe we can allow him to trade afterwards.
Yeah, I would just say I don't think we need to do that yet.
Yeah, I kind of lean
that's
there
definitely
as well.
You know that he'll be a target for me as I go through the rest of this draft for our boy Wheels.
Yeah. I'm just sending names that I like.
I'm good with the first guy we talked about because I do think his ADP is a little bit fake. Like, even though it would project that he would make it back to us, I don't think there's a shot that he does, and I'm fine with this price.
Yeah, I almost feel like what we could do here, I'm going to send you something. What do you think about that?
Oh. Sure. Yeah, I think it fits the team pretty well, honestly. The second guy you said there is the one that is at the top of my rankings, but I'm fine to capitulate here and take the other guy first. Let's do that.
Okay, let's do it.
You go with that?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take Jonathan Brooks, who I released a video on my Dynasty channel on Friday just about some guys that have been rising in my rankings, and Jonathan Brooks is one of them. And rising in my rankings does not mean that I am, like, now high on this player. Yeah. I'm still below market. I'm just slightly giving in, slightly capitulating to the fact that there has been some good news out of camp.
Yeah.
I still don't buy the rocket ship thing. Like there are people talking about, like, I'm fully in the best ball brain streets right now. Like, there are people talking about how, like, him and Chuba could flip ADP
right
for redraft by the time we get to August. And that sounds insane
crazy
to me.
Yeah.
The guy that they paid a contract to versus the 2 ACL tears, 3 NFL games played.
He is constantly moving up. He is a big riser in our last 7, 8 drafts. He's
so
pretty consistently moving up there.
10 rounds. Let me just do the math really quick. 10 rounds is obviously 120 picks. So we took him, like, right where he's been going pretty much.
Yeah,
a little bit ahead of the last few drafts. So do you want to just do the other guy then?
Well, I'm not opposed to it. I guess I was wondering what you might think. Is there any... I would say quarterbacks are disgusting here. There's not a quarterback I care about anymore.
No, I would have been happy with Daniel Jones or Malik Willis. What about this guy? And don't laugh at me.
I mean, I would never draft this player myself, but I'm not saying that we can't. We can draft that player.
Actually, we already have. Wait. I didn't.
For this build, wouldn't this guy be better for this build?
Yeah.
I think it's either that guy or the running back.
It scares me having only wide receivers that are over 27, or that, like, Rice and then all 27 and up.
That's fair.
But okay, the wide receiver or the running back. What do you think?
I don't mind. I think with this build, I could go either way. If you wanted to go young at receiver,
we got 10 seconds. Put it quick.
Either way, any of those 3.
He's gone, so we'll go Pittman.
Okay, so Michael Pittman joins the squad here. Yeah, I don't see how this team is not in the playoffs, to be honest. You've got, in a start 10, Herbert, Baker, Hampton, Brees, Amon-Ra, Rice. In your flexes, you've got Waddle, Watson, Swift, and then one of Brooks, Pittman. I have talked many times this offseason how I think Pittman's a little bit underrated. The entire Steelers offense as a whole, I think, is underrated at this point. So I like that pick a lot.
Gino in the 11th round. Wow.
Yeah, that's got to be the highest we've ever seen Gino go. Let me see.
I think that's Vin being like, I don't trust Bryce Young as my QB2, and I have Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. See, now Vin is a guy who might be targeted with the, buy my quarterbacks. Because Vin has Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne. Very much needs to be winning this year. Now, can Bryce Young and Geno Smith do that as your QB2? I don't think it's like, I think there's worse positions to be in, but
he's hovering around 150 to 200.
It's not great.
In our last 8 or so drafts. Chuba Hubbard is a great pick. We were heavily considering just double tapping that Carolina running back room there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
All right, we are gonna keep checking in back and forth on this draft, but we're going to jump to some trade questions here. I will say that when I finish these trade questions, we'll go ahead and do the giveaway for a live team playbook. So this is probably your last chance to enter the giveaway for tonight. All you had to do was like the stream and type our code word for the day, which is Prometheus. And the reason it is Prometheus is because on landleagues.com, that is the next Dynasty Startup draft that we will do with the community, which will take place, 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks from now, we'll be drafting. So if you want to join, I can guarantee you a spot for any brand new promo code LAND annual Mother Flocker members. But let's go ahead and let's jump into some trade questions. If you'd like to submit a trade question, you can do that with the link in the pinned comment. It's also the same place where you can get your team reviewed tonight. Obviously, the demand has slowed as we're getting closer to redraft season. So we've got a pretty big opening here tonight. Okay, let's have a look at some of these trade questions to start. Starting off with a Superflex 10-team start 10. There is a tight end premium here, but they are sending away Etienne for Tootin in a second. I would have these guys in the same tier personally. If they both have the same season, then you would really regret having Etienne over Bashul Tootin. I don't know why I'm not like, I love Travis Etienne coming out of college. I'm just not really excited about him in the Saints offense. Maybe I need to think about him differently. Somebody in the chat, please sell me on why I should be in on, if Etienne. I don't think
you're the guy that thinks.
Away.
Well, there's that, but you also think that Tyler Shuck is a Hall of Famer, so I'm surprised you're not more excited about Travis Etienne.
You know what? That's not true. All right, let's be very clear to any new watchers. I do not think Tyler Shuck's a Hall of Famer. I do think he can be a good quarterback. Although you think it's impossible for someone at the age of 26 to be a good quarterback, but
I'm just gonna straw man you about Tyler Shuck for all the new people to think that you just you think that you love him. I think that
Etienne's safer. I just feel like if you're playing an upside swing here,
Jalen Coker's a good pick.
There's not. Let's say this. I don't see a scenario in which Etienne is ever a top 10 running back in Dynasty again. Tootin could do that this year.
Oh, in Dynasty definitely not. Yeah. No. This is definitely like your Etienne's already 27.
Yeah.
Like he's cooked for Dynasty value, I think. It's a downgrading situation. The money
Etienne
is nice.
could score like 18 points per game, and I still don't think he would be a top 12 Dynasty running back. So
you know what? I need to adjust my rankings. I should have Tootin over Etienne straight up. This is Tootin in the second so easily for me.
Should I? I've been thinking about doing that. I just feel like.
I mean, like Zach,
Etienne is so much safer.
If we look at redraft, like how far apart do you have these guys ranked for redraft? Like what, 3 rounds max?
Yeah. Let me look at my projections because
one of them is
haven't had a strong opinion on these two
second-year player.
Tootin, I have
a much better offense.
11 points per game, and that's only because I haven't committed to anything in that offense yet. Kamara,
and also I think that you have to bake in some that's your projection, right? Yeah, so I think you've Kamara at almost 10 points per game. Yeah, I don't see them using him that much. I feel like he's just going to be like in a cheerleader role.
I do have him because I think he's going to get a huge role in the air. He is.
He was not efficient as a receiver last year at all, though.
But I think he's going to be asked to do that specifically, and I think he can specifically do that well. This is like the equivalent of what Leonard Fournette was with Tampa Bay at this point. I think that's where he's not going to be a good in-between the tackles runner, but I do think if they specifically ask him to do that role, which I believe they will, then I think he'll be very effective in it. So Tootin at 13 points per game. Sorry, Tootin at 11, let's call it. And we've got Etienne at about 13. So, yeah, it's close. I think either way, we're taking the Tootin side of this, but I probably still would say Etienne is safer if you're really playing in that 2 to 3 year window, but Tootin has that upside that Etienne just really doesn't have. Okay.
Yeah, especially for Dynasty.
None of your business. Superflex start 12, so it's a good sized league in a massive starting lineup. he would send away Bryce Young, Brian Thomas, Quentin Johnston, 2 firsts and a second to get back JSN, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson.
You hadn't scrolled down, and so all I could see was the 27 late first, and I'm going, what am I looking at here?
This is wild. By the way, have you ever seen a 1.25 tight end premium? Because that's essentially what I'm assuming. We haven't fixed this yet.
Jeez,
this is not actually a 2.25 tight end premium. It's actually a 1.25, which is still ridiculous.
So it's PPR and tight ends get 2.25. So it's a 1.25 tight end premium. That is
the reason I say that is because we do have to consider that with Jake Ferguson being in this deal. I'm not going to use what he did last year as an example, but let's say like what you want to use, like what Dalton Schultz did last year, for example. Like what would Dalton Schultz have scored? And maybe that's too aggressive. I'm trying to figure out like, a good way to kind of value him. Let's say Hunter Henry. Okay, Hunter Henry finishes the tight end 9. He had 60 receptions. So that would mean that you add another 75 points to his total points, which was 178.8. He played 17 games, so he would have scored 14.9 points per game in this format. Hunter Henry, 14.9 points per game.
It's a lot of points.
So Jake Ferguson's actually quite valuable in this format. Okay, let's break this down piece by piece. The second doesn't mean anything to me in a trade of this magnitude. Is it crazy to say like you might value Bryce and Jake Ferguson the same in this format? Is that wild to say?
Here's the thing though, like there's a lot of guys that can do what Jake Ferguson does. There are more guys that can do what Jake Ferguson does than there are starting quarterbacks. That's my issue is like, okay, Jake Ferguson is like more valuable in comparison to QJ, I think is where like that line would be for me.
So let's say those are equivalent. So essentially,
I would say, that those are probably pretty equivalent.
We are getting Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's worth 3 to 4 first-round picks. 3 to 4 first-round picks here, and a free George Pickens. Like, would you not have to pay this price alone for just JSN? Bryce Young, Thomas, and 2 firsts? Probably, if you wanted to buy him and you were serious about it. So when we go back to that initial trade, I don't see why I wouldn't accept this outside of strictly the format being a start 12.
I tend to agree with you. You're getting the 2 best players in the deal as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like that can't be overstated.
Let's have a look at his lineup if he were to make this trade. He would be starting Daniels, Dak. Then at running back, Bijan, Gibbs. Oh my God. Okay. At wide receiver, he would start Jefferson, JSN. That's 6. At tight end,
this team is ridiculous.
He would start Brock Bowers. That's 7. So that's his 7. Now he needs 5 more names to start. So those 5 names are not hard to find though, because he would start Achane, Saquon. He would start George Pickens, Lab McConkey, Devonta Smith, right? This seems like pretty easy no-brainer. That team is going to be ridiculous. So
your team's loaded. You can afford to make this move. It's a really good price.
Yeah. Okay, we're in. Sweet League says, strong contender, so unsure if I should tear down. He's going to send away Jamar Chase for Amon-Ra and a mid-27 first. I really think it comes down to where that first actually, is projected. If that is, so it's only it's a 10 team, so at worst it's the 110 next year. But if that's like the 105 versus the 110, that would change a lot for me here. They're both first-round picks in startup ADP. Would you move back from the 104 to the 109 for a future first? I would find it hard to not accept that, but the name is Jamar Chase. When you put a name on it, it's a harder conversation. What do you think here?
The other thing is Chase is 26.3. Amon-Ra is 26.7. Like they're in the same year. Yeah, it's tough not to take the pick here, man. I think that Chase very clearly has the higher ceiling year to year.
Yep.
But if we look at it from a median projection, Amon-Ra being a guy who plays all the games all the time, Burrow having a history of injury, yeah, I think that you take the pick here.
I mean, you have to recognize if you make this trade, you could actually be sending away like a 24 point per game scorer. Even now, Jamar Chase,
100%.
There's a chance we haven't seen his best season yet. Jamar Chase is one of like three guys who could crack 2,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. Amon-Ra is not capable of that, but you know what you're going to get with him. We just know that by now. So if that's really a projected mid first, I would do it. If it's more likely going to be a late first, I probably would hold Chase. But yeah, overall, it's pretty good value, man. It's pretty good value. That's a tough one. Dre Carr here in a Superflex start 9 is sending away Baker Mayfield and Rome Odunze for Trevor Lawrence. Oh, I don't think I like this. I love Trevor, but I'm not sure I like this particular trade. Let's see what your team would look like. You'd have Lamar and Trevor, Hampton, Achane, Pickens, Collins, then Loveland at tight end. That's 7. You'd only have to start 2 more names. And those 2 names would be between Garrett Wilson, Marvin, Jameson, Judkins. You've got enough depth to pull this off. But again, if we're playing in that 2 to 3 year window, are you really this confident that Trevor outscores Baker Mayfield in a meaningful way that you're willing to give up on Rome Odunze? That's a big ask, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think this is a move that this team needs to make. Like, I'm fine with Baker as my QB2.
Yeah.
I don't need to give up. You have a ton of depth at wide receiver, so I get it. I would rather... I guess if I'm looking at my lineup and Rome Odunze isn't touching it currently and I have a ton of depth,
yeah,
it's not the worst move to make. But
I mean, could you add a Parker Washington back? Could you add a... What's the premium here? No premium. Like a Stowers and you send a third. I'm just trying to find a way... to make it a little bit more enticing for you. I would love to get like Addison and send a third as well. I think we'd both be on board there. I guess you'd technically be tearing down to Addison. It's not a crazy trade. I agree with Sammy in the sense of like, I don't think it really is going to move the needle too much for you unless you think there's like a quarterback 1 finish for Trevor out there. Could you go to a 2 from someone?
I do think that exists. Like, I think his ceiling is super, super high.
Yeah.
And, there's a world in which Rome is, just falls off. There's the foot injury, which is scary that we've talked about and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. He's not an asset that I despise getting off of. Honestly, all in all, after looking at your wide receiver room, I'm fine with the Baker for Rome trade, like just the way that you sent it in. Yeah. I do like the counters that we put together, though. Better.
Yeah, I think at minimum you should be getting Parker or Stowers back, though. But it's not crazy given the format and given where your roster is. Disco Stew, Superflex, Start 11, Big League with the big tight end premium. This is a 1.5 tight end premium. Some of these premiums today, wild. You will be sending away Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, and Dalton Kincaid for Bo Nix. So let's think about this. What did Dalton Kincaid average in this format last year? Where's Kincaid?
Also, he said that he already made the trade, by the way.
Okay, he already made the trade. Kincaid had 39 receptions last year. Okay. Obviously didn't play every game. So he had 184.6 points in this format. He played 12 games. Kincaid averaged 15.4 points per game.
That's insane.
Dalton Kincaid, who most people have viewed as completely unreliable, completely useless in their lineup so far for fantasy football purposes, last year averaged 15.8 points per game in this format that you're playing in, my friend. That means that he averaged more points per game than Sorry, he would have been the wide receiver 10 in your format. This is insane. You guys are way overvaluing tight ends, by the way, in this format. He would have outscored A.J. Brown, Jamison Williams, T. Higgins, Tetairoa McMillan, Michael Pittman, Drake London, Devonta Smith, CeeDee Lamb, Emeka Egbuka. Like, I'm saying that because we talked about it earlier. Right now, Kincaid looks, for the most part, relatively yucky, if I don't have a better way to say it, on your roster. But he's a good prospect. If he ever was able to be featured, you would definitely regret this trade. But man, the fact that that's like a good flex you're giving up there on top of Bryce Young. I do like Elike Manor is a nothing for me. I think Hubbard and Kincaid are nice little pieces in a start 11 specifically. That's why I'm highlighting it, because it is a start 11. There's a lot of flexes to consider. But I think it's overall a good deal for Bo Nix.
Yeah, like I would also say, like, again, what I mentioned with Ferguson on the last trade, if you know, if it is a full 2.5 points per reception, all the tight ends get that.
Right.
So it's like, is Kincaid inherently way more valuable? It's like, I feel like this.
What if I told you
you said
he had right? Jatavian Sanders, Tyler Higbee, and Mike Gesicki to throw out there next year?
Yeah, it's not great, but like, yeah, compared to all the tight ends, obviously, you're going to be behind the 8 ball.
Right, but you can get an affordable option that's playable.
That's the thing. Like, are people in your league like hoarding Juwan Johnson? You know what I mean?
Probably. I imagine even Ben Sinnott is rostered here. So
yeah, probably.
But anyway,
I just wouldn't want.
Are you taking the Knicks side here though?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I think it's the right move to have made, but man, I just overall, Disco Stew, I'll be honest with you, I think your league is way, way overvaluing tight ends. I understand the point of a tight end premium is to make them more useful in fantasy football, but you're making them like a cheat code. And I don't really want to waste time, but I would be so curious to know, what would Trey McBride have scored in this format? So,
oh my God,
can I take 1 second?
Lap the field twice, probably.
Do the math here. So Trey McBride, in your format, scored 29.7 points per game. Oh, and he's saying it's only a 0.5 tight end premium. It's a glitch.
Okay. Yep. So I already messaged the devs. I was a tiny bit worried about this.
Yeah. So what do you think's going on there?
So it's a 0.5. So basically, for some reason it's a 0.5, and then it's saying that the tight ends are getting 1.5 per reception, and then it's adding that to the PPR.
Okay. So they already know about it. They're going to be able to fix that for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then forget the last 5 minutes. You got an absolutely ridiculous deal on Bo Nix. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's absolutely nuts.
That's a huge W. One more trade question here before I get into the team review. Or the giveaway, actually. Superflex Start 11, another big format. Don't know if this is the right tight end premium, but it actually really matters given that we have Harold Fannin involved in the trade. Let's assume this is a 0.5 tight end premium. And you're sending away Jalen Hurts to get back Love and Fannin. This is so hard because I've been wanting to sell Jordan Love the entire offseason and buy Jalen Hurts at the same time in a tight end premium with Fannin. Would I be willing to move off of Hurts for Love and Fannin?
See, why is this one showing properly?
That's a good question. What does this explain the trade
sense.
thing? I've never really played with this.
It basically just tells you where you're currently ranked and what the trade will do to your ranking.
Okay. Look, I think this is pretty fair, man. I think this is pretty fair. I'm just not a Jordan Love guy. That's why I'm cringing here.
Yeah.
Man, if you could do like, you get Ty Simpson and you send back Geno Smith in like a third or something, I'd be much more happy. You got so many future picks, by the way. Oh my gosh. He looks like a rebuilder. So, like, this makes sense logically to make a move like this. Yeah, like, you have a strong opinion either way here between Love, Fannin versus Hurts. I mean, I understand him making this move.
I would keep Hurts. It's like it like makes me physically sick to think about approving selling Jalen Hurts for Jordan Love.
I kind of agree, but
I don't even care. I don't even care who the other players are.
Okay, what if... Let's find a way here to make this worth his time then in a trade. For example, we will add Bashul Tutin. We will send back, let's say, Chuba Hubbard. That feels like a very doable name. There's a lot of little options there. By the way, guys, this is not a 1.5 tight end premium. We also need to fix that. We need to show it properly. Because I understand why Scribbles is saying Fannin's is really valuable in that premium. It's not it's actually a 0.5 tight end premium. I know that's confusing, but yeah, I know why you would think that, Scribbles, because that logically makes a lot of sense for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and do this giveaway. Okay, we had 39 entrants today. Shout out to y'all. All you had to do to enter was like the stream and type Prometheus into the chat. We're running out of Greek gods that I can actually say without sounding like a fool. But this is to win a live team playbook. Congratulations to our winner. The name is officially, it looks like Ben K5487. So if you are Ben K5487 on YouTube, congratulations. You just won a live team playbook. To claim your voucher, simply DM me on Discord. There's my username. I need a screenshot of your YouTube account to verify you, and I need your Flock Fantasy account username. If you don't have an account yet, create one using the code LAND so I can find you on the back end. But I appreciate you, man. Shout out to everybody showing some love and hanging out with us here on the stream. Going back to the startup draft, Sammy has been hitting up some good values here. Getting Andrews in the 12th, Rashad White, Jawan Johnson, Hawkinson in this tight end premium. I like some of these picks. Yeah, basically
just, for me, like, if anybody wants to know, if you look at some of the guys that are being drafted in this range, it's such a flat range once you get into, like, the round 13, 14, 15. We don't have any tight ends yet. We're going to have to stream the position off of our bench. So I've thrown in 3 guys here who will start for their teams, will hopefully be able to, you know, in a pinch for wheels, be a starter and help this team compete in year 1 here.
I also thought it was worth mentioning here as well that I love this from Crush, getting Ferguson and Max Clare.
I wanted Ferguson. I would have taken Ferguson instead of Rashad White there. I thought he would come back. He was buried in ADP.
That's really fun. I mean, obviously, terrible situation to start the year with those 2 guys as your starting tight ends, but that's a fun pick. The McMillan and the Chris Bell picks I thought were really fun in the 13th round as well. Yeah, but overall, good job, guys. Good job killing it over there. I've got one team review. Sammy, you want to hang around or you want to head off for the day? Completely up to you.
I mean, I'm doing this draft. I'll hang around. I'm not sure how involved I'm going to be in what you're doing, but
absolutely.
But, you know, throw it to me and I'll see what I got. You know.
Yes. By the way,
pass me the rock.
The amount of spam I delete in our Discord on a daily basis, it's like at least two posts per day. Someone's like, "Hey, I swear I'm not advertising. I swear I'm not scamming here. But check out all my bets I made today." It's like, who cares, bro? None of us care. Okay, Drib. What's up, Drib? Drib, welcome into the show, my friend. Appreciate you being a supporter of the channel. Your team name is Blue Mountain State. Blue Mountain makes me think of Mountain Shoutin'. Anybody ever had Mountain Shoutin' out there?
What the heck is that?
That's like the off-brand of Mountain Dew. You never heard of Mountain Shoutin'? Come on, man.
Are you serious? Mountain Dew has an off-brand?
Yeah, this is like the Walmart or where would they sell this? Like Walmart or like the 99 cent store.
That never got to Canada.
See, Sammy's never come out the mud, all right? Sammy was a little bit of born with a silver spoon here. You never come out the mud with Mountain Shoutin', okay? Dude, anybody out there know you couldn't afford Mountain Dew, so your mom came home with Mountain Shoutin'? Y'all ever heard of Dr. Thunder? All right. Some of us came out the mud, Sammy, all right? Not everybody was born with a silver spoon in their lifetime.
Did you say Dr. Thunder? Bro, I had Mr. Pibb.
You never had Mr. Pibb. Mr. Pibb is a, yes, see, exactly. Yeah, we know who you are now, all right? All right, that's not some not some low-level drink. Mr. Pibb, everybody knows Mr. Pibb, okay? That is not
Mountain Shoutin' is the funniest thing that could be named. That is so hilarious.
Y'all don't know what it was like to struggle growing up if you never had Mountain Shoutin' or Dr. Thunder.
Shoutin'.
All right.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Oh, I was down in those things every weekend as a kid. Okay, Drib, welcome in, man. Appreciate you being here. Your team rank is currently. You're 10th. You're ranked last, my friend. That's okay. You're ranked last.
Really super quick, Zach. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Okay. Johnny Bravo, but I just wanted to update you. Johnny Bravo now has, I believe, 8 tight ends. Oh my he's got 6. Johnny Bravo has 6 tight ends, for anybody wondering.
Goodness gracious.
It's getting out of hand.
Let's see how the Titan Premium pans out. This is a super flex, but it's a start 11, so it's a big lineup. I like this. If you're in a 10-team league, I think you need to extend, the rosters to make it a little bit more competitive. Maybe you're coming out of a startup. I'm not sure. You're labeled Pipsqueak on the site, which honestly, that's even disrespectful. We have that label, but we do. Let's
a little bit mean.
Yeah. He says, I'm submitting a team again. I end up doing a trade, but would love to hear your thoughts on my team and what I can do going forward. Cheers. Let's have a look. So, we do not have our first in 2027. We do not have our first in 2028. And this team is not good enough to not have our first. What happened, brother? What happened here? This is not a team that is good enough that if you remove the picks from the equation entirely and you ask someone, do you think this team has their first round pick? 90% of the poll is going to say yes. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just going to be honest. We got to, the whole point of getting a review here.
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, though.
It's not. Look, but the whole point of getting a review here is being honest and transparent. I think that's why people come back and they want to get advice here on Dynastyland. Because I'm not afraid to tell you exactly how it is. If I was to tell you, look, you don't have your future first round picks, but, it's fine. Like, this is a 10-team league. Even if this was a 12-team league, I wouldn't be happy with this being the lineup I have, not controlling my future for the next 2 years. But in a 10-team league, we're out there and we're going to be competing with some of these teams like this guy. Like, look at this. There's Gibbs, Puka, Taylor, Olave, multiple future first-round picks. You are, even if we put on contender mode, you're ranked 9th, which I honestly understand. Like, there are a lot of teams that are probably better than you. I'm not sure that you're even a guarantee to make the playoffs. So I wonder what we did to get there. Take a mental note of what you did to get here, to send away your future picks. Were you too high on Concepcion and you went all in on him? Were you all in on Mendoza and you went for him? I'm not sure. The only untouchable player on this team is probably Jeremiah Love, which again is not a good sign when you don't control your future. I wouldn't consider any of these other names untouchables, but for a team like this, Javonte Williams is an absolute must-hold. There's no way you're selling him. You need to go out there and compete. I would actually say Ramondre Stevenson is a player you need to hold as well, because you need as many bodies as you can really get.
Zach, did he say anything in the message about this being like a startup?
No, he didn't. I just assumed it was with how close everybody was, but...
Yeah, and I'm kind of I'm thinking also being ranked 9th in contender. I do think the site is being a little bit harsh here in terms of the contender mode. Because if we look at the lineup, right?
Yeah.
Goff, Stafford, Love, Javonte.
Yeah.
Tate, Devonta Smith, Hawkinson, and then you're flexing right now Casey and Jordan Addison and Cortland Sutton, but you also have Aaron Jones and Ramondre.
No, I should clarify. I agree with Sammy in the sense of I think that the site is being harsh for you being a contender, but I don't think he's guaranteed to make the playoffs. When you look at all these teams,
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you don't own your future picks, you should be a guaranteed to make the playoffs. That's really where I was going there. I apologize if it wasn't.
No. It was definitely clear. I just think that it's the Pipsqueak label here is a little, because Pipsqueak basically, if you actually click on it, Zach, there's a legend that I created.
You're a legend, mate.
Which shows exact. So basically, he's bottom 2 in both the contending and rebuilding values.
Right. But so he probably should be purgatory.
I would say maybe, yeah, because potentially, but I mean, by definition, he's a pipsqueak. But he's close to not being a pipsqueak, is what I'm saying.
If you need to drop players to create space, like Dylan Bell and Colby Young are definitely droppable. I'm assuming your waiver wire is naked if you have those two. Well, okay, hold on. No, your waiver wire actually has value. Like in this, with a 0.5 premium, Darnell Washington should be rostered. So go pick him up. I also like Tez Johnson here over Dylan Bell and Colby Young. I'm not sure who Dylan Bell is, honestly. Would you roster Jatavian Sanders? I'm kind of indifferent on him, to be honest. But
I mean,
those are two good pickups. Okay. So, with all that being said, not meant to be negative, just meant to be honest. Right now, you are absolutely a team that needs to compete at this moment. There's no reason not to compete at this moment. Therefore, the pathway I'm going to give you is a Windows open pathway. But this is probably, I don't know. Tell me if I'm being too harsh, Sammy. Like, to me, if I was to grade this team out, probably like C+, or sorry, C-. C- is probably where I'm
going to be on board with C+. I think C- might be a, like...
Let's go C then. We'll meet in the middle.
C, I think, is good. Like, there are several redeeming qualities.
Yep.
It's so annoying that it's really frustrating that you don't have your first, but you have a good amount of nice young assets.
Yeah.
Combined with, I think, the ability to try and compete this year. So, like, even if, like, you try and compete, and Zach, would you say that this team is destined for the 101?
No, I don't. But that's what I kind of, part of my problem with him being so all in is the fact that you have so many players that you don't know if you can rely on. Because I agree, I like that young core, but the fact that you have to start Concepcion, Tate every single week, you know what I mean? Like, that is a little bit difficult to know, because we don't know when they're going to be actual startable fantasy assets, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm coming from there, but look.
I do agree. And also, if he's ranked 9th in contender, that does mean that at least from, like, redraft values currently, like, that's why this team is definitely a startup, I think. I don't think there's a question there.
Well, the more I think about it, though, like, literally all of his draft capital is gone. And he's got other people's draft capital. This, you know, that's pretty rare out of a startup. That's where I'm like, is it real? Are we sure it's a startup? I'm actually thinking, like, maybe it's not actually a startup. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah,
but
potentially.
I think we need to sell that first that you have. The first that you have is from Participant Era, which, I mean, their team is better than yours, transparently. See, this is a team that doesn't have its own picks, but I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Look at the squad. So, ideally, I think we're adding a running back here. That's kind of where I would land. And maybe that allows you to put Concepcion on your bench, you know, wait for him to be viable. Maybe there's a tight end out there that we could afford that's reasonable. So, let's see. Is there a team that we could buy a running back from? Like, would you go out and buy like a Quinshon Judkins, right? Still kind of staying young, movable pieces, but guys that can help you win. I don't think you can get anything more. Like, maybe you could ask for Judkins and Brenton Strange, you know, something to start there. But I don't think you're going to get really much more in a deal like that.
But Greg Dulcich.
Dulcich would be awesome as a little throw-in, like a free throw-in. I think, like, with him being all in, I'm not big on buying Kyron Williams this offseason, but this would be a scenario where I probably would be looking to buy Kyron Williams, get that production. Maybe we add a Jake Ferguson on top, and we send them, if you can't get it straight up, which I would understand why, we send them, he has a third that he's got in the chamber there, so send that third for Kyron and Jake Ferguson. At least with that, your starting lineup massively improves because Concepcion's on the bench, and you actually have a tight end that you can probably start. You know, that makes sense to me. Maybe we try and get, I don't really want, man, buying Bucky for a first, and if he has a mediocre year, would really kill this roster.
See, I disagree.
You don't think so?
That trade would look bad, but it wouldn't kill the roster. Like, this is still a team with Love, Tedero McMillan, Carnell Tate.
So are you interested in that trade then?
I mean, I think that's a separate question. I think that a 28 first for Bucky.
Let's say and Kincaid. See, I don't think I would do that. I think I need more of a guarantee with this roster.
It's more of like I want to get like a Brees with that pick. Can I get Brees with that pick?
I love like Brees Hall. I think he's probably going to cost more than that, but I love Brees Hall there. So let's add him. You're not going to get a throw on with Brees Hall. I mean, maybe you ask for like Travis Kelce or something thrown in.
By the way, just drafted Greg Dulcich for our boy Wheels.
Hell yeah, let's go. Saquon's interesting.
I was trying to say, see, that's it. That's one where I'm like, that could go so bad.
How is that different to Bucky though, other than Bucky being younger?
That's how it's different.
Okay, fair. Look, yeah, and there's no tight end here to throw in. Like, you're not going to get Tucker Kraft and one of these names. What do you think, Sammy, about like Tyler Warren and Montgomery or something as a combo? Tyler Warren plus
for a first, yeah, I would do
David Montgomery, and then we're gonna have to add something back. What did I say? Tyler Warren plus David Montgomery. So would you probably have to throw a second in here? Or maybe a third.
Do we have a 28 second?
We have a 28 third, or a second, and we have a third in 27.
I would do a 28 first and a 28 second for Warren Monty. There is a premium here, right?
There is. It's 0.5. So yeah, you're probably right. We're gonna have to do a second then.
I would do a first and a second for Warren Monty there, and this guy might be open to that because he has Tucker Kraft.
That trade, honestly, I've been negative, not trying to be negative. But honestly, that trade could be one that would like save this team, in my opinion.
Yeah, you immediately feel a lot better about a lot of it.
100%. Whether the guy is willing to do it is a different question, but he already has Tucker Kraft, you know? So I don't think I'm doing that trade for Tucker Kraft and Montgomery, by the way. Although I do love Tucker Kraft, it would just be a cheaper option, right? Okay. Yeah. Let's see. We've got Jadarian Price. I don't think, given his team where he already has so many names that need to prove themselves, that makes sense. On a different format, it might. I was gonna consider a Jacobs move, but not if Chig and Mark Andrews are the best that we could get back. Well, look, Chase Brown, straight up. Chase Brown probably makes a ton of sense for you. Those are your options, though, I think. And I'm not going to sit here and say, look, I do think you need to move the pick, given the situation that you find yourself in. You don't need to force it, though. Like, please, for the love of God, don't tell me next week on stream and submit a trade question, and it's that you sent your first for David Montgomery. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. Don't send your first for DeAndre Swift. Don't send your first for, Oronde Gadsden. Please do not force a trade.
I approve these messages.
But I think at some point between now and October, that first probably should be on the move to help you accomplish the goal of competing right now. So hopefully that's helpful. Any final thoughts there, Sammy?
No, I think that this team has redeemable qualities.
I apologize if I'm too harsh.
Zach obviously thinks that this is the worst team he's ever seen, that he's ever reviewed.
No. I'm sorry. I'm just honest. I would have actually really loved to have heard like some context as to how we got there, because I would have been interested in like, what we could learn from it. But anyway,
like, how did it become so terrible?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I think that like even the way that it is right now, if you can't get a good deal done, don't feel terrible.
Yeah.
This tight end room is serviceable to stream off your bench. You have like the gross vets with Aaron Jones and Cortland Sutton, Matthew Stafford. There's a little bit of moxie here.
Yeah.
Zach, real quick.
Yep.
Would you draft in a startup 0.75 tight end premium Dontavian Wicks or Darnell Washington?
Dontavian Wicks or Darnell Washington? Probably Washington.
All right, done. Thanks for your input. Wicks definitely isn't making it back to me now, I fear.
That's okay. We're doing reviews right now, see Brazy. If you want to submit one, absolutely. Let me know if you're going to submit one. We'll stay on. Maverick says, if I bought the season pass, would I be able to use the draft cheat sheet for Dynasty startups, or is it more for redraft? Yeah. Guys, on the my draft guide, landdraftguide.com, which you can log into if you're a land member, it's really catered to the redraft season. So the rankings in there are not Dynasty based. However, could I easily add that now that I'm thinking about it? I probably could actually easily add that.
Wouldn't you want that as like a product with the annual mother flocker though?
Yeah, that's the problem actually.
Because the
Dynasty stuff is technically supposed to be gated behind annual mother flocker membership. So yeah, but where's the draft at right now, Sammy? How are we doing for the boy? I cannot believe you put Deshaun Watson on his team.
In the 20th round, he might be the starting quarterback.
How do you feel about these picks that we've made though?
I feel pretty good. This tight end room is now, pretty darn solid. We went wide receiver and running back heavy early, so I grabbed Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Baker misses a few weeks. You need to fill in. Now you've got one. Sean Tucker, I think, in the 19th round is a good pick. He'll probably have a bit of a goal line role. Maybe Bucky gets hurt again. Who knows? And Adonai Mitchell, man, he's finally on Adderall. He's focusing for the first time in his career. He's gonna have a big season.
Gosh. That's a crazy statement. Finally on Adderall. We made it, guys. I do like the Washington pick.
I'm doing the fantasy. I'm doing the fantasy analysis that people come to the stream for.
Okay.
Sources telling me he's on Adderall.
We did get a team review in, from Barry. Sorry, yeah. I don't know why. I thought that was a trade question because it was submitted at $4. Typically, that when I get that notification, it's a trade question. But I see you there. Disco Stew with the trade question. He says, would be receiving Lad. He is sending away. Okay, well, this is weird how it was submitted because you submitted it as if you were getting the first, but you're actually getting Lad. I appreciate you putting that comment in there because we would have had an opposite conversation here. In a start 11 to get a receiver like Lad, I think that's a pretty fair price. Like I don't think you're gonna get Lad McConkey for less than a first. Do you think so? And if I had Lad McConkey and someone sent me a late first, I probably wouldn't be too inclined to entertain it either. So this feels pretty fair all around.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. It's a little scary, I think. Like there are definitely other receivers I would rather trade a first for.
Yeah,
but I do think that the value is there.
Okay, so we're pretty happy with this overall as like a value. The value adds up is what I meant to say. I don't know if you can speak to Sean's question here. Because
I have a best ball review coupon, but I can't use it. Okay, I think I know why. Sean, I imagine that you are either a promo code land or domain user. So basically, with the purchase of the best ball tool, every user gets a best ball portfolio review. But of course, if like Zach not drafting on Underdog and the domain guy's not drafting on Underdog, unfortunately, just the way that it goes, that review doesn't really get you anywhere.
I mean, we should allow them to submit it. I'm happy. Like, it's not like I haven't played best ball before.
That's for you to do, Zach. So you can turn it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
where do I go to turn it on?
It's toggled off by default. But you can turn it on.
I go to manage. What is it? Let's see. You know what? I'll figure it out after the stream. But just remind me, Sammy. Or
I don't
Sean,
know if it's. I don't know if
message me.
If he's promo code domain, then
right.
It would be he might be promo code domain too.
It depends on what promo code you're on, but either way, I'll turn that on afterwards because it's not like I'm not aware of best ball or haven't played it before or can't offer you some opinions and feedback. So we'll be happy to turn that on for people. Okay, let's go to Barry's here. Are you still drafting? You still want to hang out for this one?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Barry's, let me know if you're in the chat. I'm pretty sure you are with us. Team name is 49er Faithful. So maybe we have a Ricky Pearsall stand in here. Maybe a Brock Purdy stand. You are currently ranked, well, 7th. I was going to say, I can't find you there. This is a 10-team start 10. Superflex as well, which is a pretty standard format there. The site has your quarterbacks ranked 10th, dead last, 8th at running back, 7th at receiver, 8th at tight end, and 2nd on draft capital. No context there. There's no tight end premium. You are in the purgatory, according to the site. And this is fun. We have an upcoming rookie draft, which I do have the war room here ready to go.
Many of those.
But typically people have finished their drafts by now, so that will be fun to add that. Okay, so I just realized this team doesn't have their first in 2027, by the way. Which, looking at it, not ideal. This will be an interesting review. Your untouchables right now, we're going to say the 2026 101 is an untouchable. There really isn't another one at this point. Players that I want to hold... Well, right now, based off not having your first, I would put like Chuba Hubbard into that range, Josh Jacobs into that range. Some of these veterans like Wan'Dale Robinson, you might actually need in your flex spot. George Kittle. These are all probably crucial without your first next year. There's no tight end premium. Players that you could drop if you wanted to. Let's go with like Jalen Lane, Tyquan Thornton. Can't imagine in a managed league you're ever going to be able to start those names, but on the waiver wire, I would definitely rather have Greg Dulcich and Jalen Tolbert than some of those names. He says, I had mine, traded my 27 first at McBride for Love and Tet. Okay, have his 27 first. So it sounds like, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. So he sent away his 27 first and Trey McBride. Let me make sure I understand this right. For the 101 plus Tet McMillan. If I'm understanding this right. And is that right, Barry? In a non-tight end premium, that's a pretty good sell high of Trey McBride, I would say. It just puts you in a difficult spot now, because you probably should be competing, but okay, right now the starting lineup is Stroud, Ward. That's rough. Let's say Jeremiah Love and Josh Jacobs, McMillan, Nico, Kittle. That's not the worst top 7, but it's not awesome either in a 10 team. You have to start 3 players in your flex, which would be Bucky, Wan'Dale, Chuba, without considering those draft picks. I'm probably going to want to compete this year if I don't have my own first. And what do you think, Sammy? I mean, he's got the 101, which is why I'm not as harsh as the previous guy. This feels like probably C plus to me. It's not the best roster.
I think that's fair. I mean, this guy has the 101. The last guy had Jeremiah Love.
That's true.
So, but he also has the 102.
Yep.
At least he has a first next year. I think C plus is fair though. The tight end room is not very good. The quarterbacks were way worse than the last guy. But it's redeemable in terms of I think the running back room is fine for this year.
Yeah.
And CRZ Braze. He says that the other guy's first is projected top 3. You want to check out that guy's team?
For you then? Yeah. So it is Rude Jude Rude Jude. Yeah.
Jude.
And I mean, yeah. You know what? Honestly, I'm an idiot. This is a great trade for you. Wow. I can't believe that guy did this, actually. Why would you buy Trey McBride with this team? I've never felt more needed in the community than I do today. Okay? And that's good.
So you're saying Rude Jude should submit a team review?
Yeah, I'm saying Rude Jude should submit a team review because he has no idea what the hell he's doing. Congratulations. You did a good job there. Doesn't mean his team is great, but you did a great job there.
I didn't even need to strawman you into that one. You're just letting people have that for free.
100%. I'll throw it. Okay. Well, the fun part now is that we actually get to go to a war room, which we haven't done in quite a long time here. It's been a hot minute since the war room has made an appearance, as most people's drafts have occurred by now. But let me move you over a little bit here. Okay. So, good amount of draft capital. Pretty obvious what we're going to do at the top there. We're going to take Jeremiah Love off the board. At the 102, if you stick and pick, it's going to be Tate for me. The 106 could be anything. I'm going to guess it's probably Price. If it's not Price, though, we love Mendoza for a team like this. We love Lemon, Tyson. They're all great options. With all those late picks, just get your guy, all right? Best player available for you, whoever that is, it's a wasteland this year. Now, I think no matter what we do, take Jeremiah Love. Beyond that, I'm not opposed to exploring trades for the rest of these picks, right? Is this a team where you wouldn't be wanting George Pickens on? I think George Pickens would make a lot of sense for a team like this.
Mm-hmm.
Sending the 106 for a T. Higgins.
I'd rather have Jadarian Price over T. Higgins.
Right. I'm just trying to think guys that could help him compete right now. So I'm not married to the T. Higgins specific. Zay Flowers maybe is a little bit more attractive.
That I do like 106. I'm thinking random future first range. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, let's just look.
We just had Lad McConkey almost in that type of range.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it for a Brian Thomas. Zay, I think, is fine. I don't think T. Higgins is ridiculous. If you're going running back,
I think you need more help at receiver. Just to say,
yeah,
I agree. We could go running back, but
receiver.
It'll be like a James Cook probably as the pick there. But so let's just hypothetically say you took Jeremiah Love, you got George Pickens, and then you came back and got Zay Flowers, right? So then your starting lineup is Stroud, Ward, Jeremiah Love, Josh Jacobs, Tet, Nico, Kittle. But here's where the big upgrades are. Your flexes would then be George Pickens, Zay Flowers, and Bucky Irving. That's a huge upgrade over the way your roster currently looks. And it's not like, even though you want to be a young team, it's not like George Pickens is, 28 years old or something. You're buying him as he's entering his prime. Are there any... I I guess I would like a better quarterback 3, but the problem is none of those thirds or fourths are going to move the needle for you. How would you feel about moving his second next year? If we are, I think let me say this. If you do go out and trade the 106 and the 102 for contending pieces, I think the next move probably needs to be you getting an upgrade at quarterback. So like Matthew Stafford comes to mind there. How possible is Stafford? I think in plenty of leagues that's possible, but it's going to depend on how your league particularly values him. If not Stafford, there's not a lot of guys I love at this price point. Probably can't get Kyler Murray for this cheap, but like if you do that second and Xavier Worthy for Kyler Murray in the third or something, I don't know what that would look like.
Sure, yeah. I think you want to try and get somebody that moves the needle, right? I think that Kyler could be that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I do like that as
maybe
a target.
Malik Willis.
It's really tough going into the year. Malik Willis honestly might be perfect. Like if you can get him for this cheap.
Yeah.
Just taking a swing on upside there, like going in with Stroud and Cam Moore just does not feel good at all.
No, I think if you're going to go competitive, then you need to grab him. And I would argue you probably should with your first being in the hands of someone else, but you want to make him regret that trade. When he got your first, you want to make him regret that. Obviously, if it comes to like week 8 and you're 2-6, then there's a very easy path here to sell, right? Like Jacobs, Chuba, Warren, Kittle. The path is very easy if you want to kind of reset in season, but I think it's a decent team. There's plenty of moves that probably still need to be made. Most of the trade ideas that I came up with are probably going to be hanging there in the war room. Which, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and export that war room now. Sorry, it's been a minute. I forgot I even export these. So this will be exported to Discord. You can go save it over on Discord. And in order to save it, let me know if you have any final questions, dude, if there's anything we didn't answer. In order to save it, you go to Discord and then you go to War Room. Sorry, that's where it is. That's where you would save it. Okay. But yeah, let us know if you got any final questions there, Barry. I honestly, when I look at this trade here, knowing the guy's team, that is maybe the steal of the century. That's probably Jeremiah Smith and Tetro McMillan, based off the way that guy's team looks.
No, Zach, that's this year's 101.
Sorry, yeah, I guess I don't know where his first came from in the trade. Then
it was a different. I imagine it was a different trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not be moving Jacobs just because he's pretty bad in value right now. As in, I don't think you're gonna get
He's a good value.
Kyler Murray. He's a good value right now.
Would you move the 102 for a quarterback? Try and get one of the Lawrence, Purdy.
Not opposed to it.
Bo Nix. Who's the other guy there? Herbert.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
Dart. Can we get Dart for the 102?
Brock Purdy, Jackson Dart.
That's a move I'd make on this team.
Yeah, those are all good moves as well. But I wouldn't move Jacobs. Sorry, I said he was bad. I don't know why I said that. What I meant to say is his value is currently not very good, so it doesn't make sense to move him right now. And I also think without your first, he's the ideal. Yeah, bad sell. Yeah, he's an ideal hold for you at this point. So, but let me know if you have any final questions there, Bori. Appreciate you submitting and letting us have a look at the squad. Fun squad. A lot of movement still probably needs to be made. Did we finish the draft? You finished the draft there.
Draft is done.
So it looks like you finished with Najee, Brennan Thompson, Cooper Kupp, and Keenan Allen. I think Keenan needs to be drafted at the end of.
There's a lot of guys at the bottom where I'm like, he should probably be drafted.
Yeah, I agree.
I added a little Herbert rookie stack there. Maybe a Keenan stack. Who knows? We'll see.
All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with a couple things here. Number one, if you're a brand new, promo code LAND, annual motherflock, remember, make sure you go to landleagues.com and you enter the drawing for the Prometheus League. We've already got a couple people who are claiming their spots. If you're not a member with the promo code LAND yet, go ahead and do it. If you want to join the community, now's a great time. Use the code LAND, become an annual Mother Flocker member. You get a bunch of perks that you can pause on the screen there and check out. We are going to plug a little bit of content here as well. I just released a video today on Fantasyland Football, which is my redraft channel. If you're a Dynasty only guy, I get it, but these videos also apply to the redraft, to the Dynasty scene. So, for example, if you want to see 6 players that I think are dark horse #1 overall finishes, did this video last year, you guys loved it.
That's fun.
Then there's plenty of Dynasty names there that you would love to see. So go check that out over on Fantasyland Football on YouTube. Sammy is also releasing content over on Sammy Stacks. I haven't got a chance to watch this latest video, but I like the premise of the next JSN guys who kind of defined last year, right?
That came out today. I did. So if anybody, I'll do a little teaser. So it was, I think I did JSN, JSN, Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams, Drake May, and Harold Fannin. And I found with those 5 guys who were, season defining last year, I found profiles in 2026 that sort of matched those 5 names. And it was a fun one. Yeah.
Talk about foreplay. Am I right?
Just teasing you. Zach, am I an idiot? Did you do the giveaway yet?
Yeah.
You already did it? I wasn't listening?
Yeah, I did the giveaway.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
I did
that right after trade questions. We did it.
Okay, so I was just so deep in the draft that I lost it.
Sometimes you can go too deep.
Shows how much I listen.
All right, guys, we appreciate
Maybe my girlfriend's right, honestly.
Maybe she is right. We'll see you guys very soon. Go check out all our content, and appreciate you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Nothing but love. Later.
See you guys.